Mic check, mic check. 1, 2. I'd like to welcome Claudette, Creative, and Quita to the house. We're gonna get started pretty soon. I got things to do. Oh yeah, Heathen Queen, all in the house. Flawless. All right, everybody. We're going to get this show started very soon. Very soon. A lot of exciting things going on. This is a Saturday. I'd like to thank you for taking the time out to check me out. You know, I appreciate that. I love that. I appreciate that. A lot of things going on. Cyber Dreams is in the house. All right. I thought I had a little guru today.
And the pot calls the kettle black, calls the kettle burnt, calls her mad. Kettle reminds the pot that we both been burned on the same stove, that the parts of our bodies that are layered in soot were scorched by the same hands. Kettle tells pot that she still boils water, holds the hot breath of a white man's tongue, endures the slow simmer of a white woman's allyship, and still we make something beautiful. Pot calls the kettle wicked, and kettle says no, but says she's so magical she burned the hand of the last man who tried to pour himself a piece of her. Says she's so black she is everything, so black she is the beginning. She is the first thing someone finds home in when they wake up in the morning. Says ain't that what it means to be black? To have the world go up in flames around you and still be sanctuary for someone, saving men who lost themselves the night before, saving men who curse our names but forget his mama is made of steel too. And now the pot has no words but calls the kettle bitter, but loves the glass pan, the fine china, loves all the exotic shit white men put behind glass casings, loves how fragile things not made of steel can be. But this isn't about the pot or the pan. This is about the kettle, the black woman, how she pours herself across the earth, but no one bats an eye when the water disappears. We give ourselves to men who never love us, but they say we are difficult, too hard to break. How we, the kettle, praise this pot, this man for all the water he holds. How we are the only ones who do not call him monster when the water boils over, because we know this heat, this white flame, hot enough to make any of us explode. We are the first ones to make noise when the world goes up in flames, but they say the earth was saved by the man who heard her scream. Pot calls the kettle black, and kettle says yes, but says you best remember you black too. The next time they bring a fire to your neck, they burn black bodies on the stake and the stove. Pot calls the kettle black, and kettle says bitch I might be, says nuck if you buck, then says wipe me down. Kettle says yes my nigga, I be black, I be mad, and I boiled the last man down to his bones when he tried to test me. Pot calls the kettle black, And Kettle says, hell yes. But don't say my name as if you ain't ever been burnt too.
All right, all right. In the house.
Women suck at it.
Let me stop that for a second. In the house. Camo in the house. Cyber Dreams in the house. M Mills in the house. King Sigma in the house. Cyber Dreams in the house. Jenny B in the house. Benji Masu in the house. Claudette Jonay in the house. Heathen Queen in the house. Creative Solutions in the house. Quita Ward. We're gonna keep this going. You gotta listen to this. This is interesting right here. See, the funny thing to me is how Black Manosphere men are demanding respect from Black women. And it's really interesting because why? Why would you, after they berate you for now has been years, I guess, right? Why would you people respect those who respect them? Let me repeat that again. People respect those who respect them. Ladies and gentlemen, you will get more respect from respect. If you communicate respectfully, you will probably get a respectful communication back. If you do not, don't communicate with that particular entity. In the house, H.T. Baldwin. In the house, Tomas. In the house, Feisty Black Tina. Let's get down to what we call back in the day the get down.
Women suck at everything. Nursing. If Fresh takes a stray bullet, boom. You think a nurse can pick his ass up, or me? You want a male nurse. Single mothers, 80% produce murderers and drug dealers and criminals. Single dad, they do great. Women suck at everything compared to men. Literally everything. Even sucking dick. Some fucking gay dudes, right? Or gay dudes, I don't know. I'm just saying. I've heard the statistics. Women suck at everything. They get lazy at everything. And another thing is like, Woman of the Year. Who is that trans? Caitlyn.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, they lost to a dude with a cock.
That's true. He won Woman of the Year. He did win.
I'm back with another triggering topic.
Welcome, you're triggered.
Pure foolishness. And this, ladies, is really the reason why I've decided to dedicate my time and effort to exposing the manosphere, because the narratives that they push about women are downright frightening. And all they do is encourage violence, degradation, and disrespect towards women. And even more specifically, Black women will end up getting the short end of the stick because we are looked at as the bottom of society and having even less worth than other women. No accountability at all for men and the behaviors of men, but just men blaming women for everything that happens in the world, all the while simultaneously claiming to be the leaders and in charge of everything. And I'm confused. Make that make sense. Now, you have someone like Fresh and Fit who have over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and they're pushing their patriarchal agenda to millions of eyes and even impressionable young men. But they don't believe that women have any value other than being an incubator for their children, that women don't deserve loyalty or fidelity in a marriage or a partnership, that these women deserve to be scared of being replaced by a younger woman as they age. But on the flip side, they want these same women to waste all of their youth on older men only to be replaced when she gets older. And all of these things are things that they have said on their podcast. Now, you know, if y'all look at this man that they had as a guest on there, he's just coming straight out of the closet with it. Women suck at everything. They're responsible for men being serial killers. And no, it's not the choices that man made as a man, but no, it's your mother's fault. It's women's fault. You don't want a female nurse. No, you don't want that. You want a male nurse. And now single fathers are so much better than single mothers. And you know what? My thing is this. If that's truly the case, that men feel like if they take the reins on parenting their children, that their children are going to do so much better and thrive, then why do, in the majority of child custody cases, men don't even try or make an attempt to get custody? They don't fight for it. They gladly pass that responsibility onto the woman. Then you have this man talking about oral sex and that men do it better. Okay, that's where he really, really just had me.
That was really weird. Like, he's saying that men suck D better. That doesn't sound like that's not a flex. That's not a flex. Well, I mean, if he's in the LGBT, it might be, but that's not a flex for me. I'm not saying it's good or bad because, hey, do you, right? But that's what he said. That's what he said. Yeah, H.C. Baldwin, yeah, he wants a male nurse. He wants a male nurse to, to wipe him up clean. You know what I mean? Wipe him up clean. That he wants a male nurse to do that. So this dude is coming. I don't think he understands. Maybe he's trying too hard to be funny, but maybe he doesn't understand how he's really coming off. No pun intended. I would think that he might want to rephrase that, but hey, he said what he said. It's happened before. Let's see what else he's got to say. Let's see here. Let's check it out.
Thinking something totally different because, sir, you said the quiet part out loud. So if you feel this way about women, then when is your coming out party, sir? I looked at the comments on this video and I saw this comment right here. I love my mom to death, but this is facts. And my thing is that if your mother saw you say this, do you think that she would think that you loved her? And then you see this other comment, you can't deny he's spitting facts, or this comment, he's telling the truth. And my thing is this, if you feel that women have nothing to offer, then cool, that's not a problem. Go be with men then. But these are men that will openly say things like this or admit that they have these type of ideologies, but they still want to engage sexually with women or have a marriage with a woman. And I find that to be odd.
I find it to be odd too. I remember Gemini's what was it, homo romantic video live that was off the chain, by the way. And she explained this. She broke it down to the get down. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should check it out. But there's a very weird scenario happening in the manosphere / LGBT divided by 2 complicated community. Maybe they're one. Maybe they're all in the same. I don't know. Let's keep going.
Would like to use a woman as a virtual glory hole, but you don't have any respect or care or love for her. And that to me is a very scary quality that a lot of men seem to have. Now they can engage with you sexually, have you take care of them, nurture them, love on them. They can spend time with you, all the while not even caring about you as a human being. And as soon as they have a better opportunity, they can be gone just as quick as they arrived. And I've said this a lot, and I'm going to continue saying it until everybody hears me, that any man that listens to the manosphere or agrees with manosphere ideology should be avoided at all costs. And when
basically, with my experience and my interactions with it, I would say there's maybe in the manosphere altogether, there's maybe 5% that I would say what of the men that I would say are possibilities. But the ideology of the manosphere really does not help society, really, but Black women at all. So basically, I'm going to be nice and say that there's 5% of men out there that might be okay, but and they're on the soft side of the manosphere because they keep bringing up this excuse that, well, the Manosphere is about building up men, blah, blah, blase, blase. In fact, I think that's what that's what King Sigma says. But overall, the bottom line is there's way more toxic entities in the Black Manosphere than there are those who have logic. And therefore, it's simply best, without having to split threads, to just simply just call them no. If a guy starts talking that red pill smack, run to the back and get out.
I say avoid, I mean avoid. And I mean avoid them completely. A woman should not even consider this man as a purely sexual option. No, he should be left alone completely to his own devices by himself. That is one of the first questions that you should ask when pursuing a relationship or looking at a prospective suitor or a partner. Ask them, who's your favorite Manosphere creator? Now, you know, ladies, that it's a trick question, because if he has any, then that means that he's out of the running. But you should definitely do this. I beg you, ladies, I'm begging you, please ask these questions. Because do you really want to end up being with a man who thinks that you suck at everything? That thinks that women have no worth or value other than to cook, clean, and warm his bed? To be a tool no different than a lawnmower or stove?
Yeah, a lot of times what the Manosphere men will do is they'll say there's their I'm not with him mantra, or I don't agree with him mantra. But the bottom line is that for the most part, that will come out. He's not with him now because he wants to date you, but he will be with him when he wants to control you.
Now, he can lie to your face and tell you that he cares, but if he's listening to this type of content, he does not and never will look at you as a human being in the way that he respects the humanity of other men. And what he mentioned about Caitlyn Jenner in this video, in my opinion, is something that I don't even think really a lot of women are even ready to unpack. Because if you're a woman and you're saying that you want to fight the patriarchy and you want to fight for women's rights and women's spaces and the right for women to be seen as human beings, and just because they express themselves, they're not masculine. If you are fighting for that and you ignore the things that men say, and you're like, hey, I don't want a man to tell me what to do. A man can't tell me anything. But as long as a man has a wig on, you will accept him telling you what to do, or you will accept his version of what femininity and womanhood is. Then I have something to tell you, sis. It's a very uncomfortable truth and it may be hard to hear, but you are also part of the problem, and you enable men like this. But you know what? I don't know if y'all ready for that. So I'm just going to back off. I digress. If you watch this whole...
Stop this for 1 second. See, we have to break down the definition again of what a mammy is. A mammy is not a woman who believes in Black men or who believes in a positive Black man or a Black man that's actually doing something good. A mammy is a woman who believes in toxic, who blindly believes in that all men are good, even though they could look up their record and they'll see not such good things. A mammy is somebody who will take the man side for everything, including the harsh stuff. And mammy is somebody who would rather hold back the whole community for one man than to hold that man accountable. That is what a mammy is. If you want to bend the rules or make it something else, feel free to do so. Let me keep going. In fact, let me break it down like this.
Leroy gets drunk on Friday night and he goes to work on Monday. He does good, but he has no motivation. He is not interested in leading anything. He just wants somebody to take care of him. You don't want that,
That's
lady.
the majority of her room. The majority of her room is what she just described right there. I got to play that over again. Listen closely. I've seen who's in her room.
Leroy gets drunk on Friday night and he goes to work on Monday. He does good, but he has no motivation. He is not interested in leading anything. He just wants somebody to take care of him. You don't want that, ladies. That's what one woman is telling you want. Basically, you want to fuss and fight every day of your life and tell a man how no good he is, and you want to yell and scream at him. That's not living. That's dysfunction. You don't want that. But you got one person telling you that. You got another group of people over here telling you you ain't got no value, lady, because you gave your virginity away. You gave it away to somebody that whatever your thoughts was, you might have ended up in some trauma. Who really knows? Who really cares? But I'm telling you, if you don't have it, it's time to get it. And the way to get that is start with preserving yourself, clearing your mind, and building a relationship with God. It's time to figure out what God has for you. It's time to become virtuous. You also got these people out here that said you got to be.
I want you to keep listening to her. How she's telling you ladies what to do. She's telling you ladies what to do. But let's keep it going.
Virgin to be virtuous. Who said that? Look it up. Being virtuous is having high moral values.
Oh, wait. Being virtuous is having high moral values. I wonder if it's like this guy right here.
They decide to do. Let's don't miss that. Even the ones in the U.S. If we decide to
look, it's her again. What is she telling this woman down here who wants to be virtuous? Let's see what she's telling her.
Be held accountable for what they decide to do. Let's don't miss that. Even the ones in the U.S. If we decide to give ourselves to men, then we just decide to do so, and we have to be accountable for that. So we can't hold this man responsible for that part.
Right.
But again, we're talking about me. I'm talking about adding value back into women and us making different decisions. So maybe that should be a different conversation to the women that are involving themselves instead of.
Okay, so my bad. Here we go. She is here defending one of the most promiscuous and disrespectful to women men in the whole, what would you call it? Online, on YouTube. I hope you guys can hear me now. Basically, it's like this. She is, after giving a women a tongue lashing in the video before, right? Now she wants to defend a man whose bad behavior got him kicked out of Brazil. Nothing for him. She ain't got nothing for him. She ain't got nothing. Perfect. Tomas, that's perfect. Manosphere. Yep. She ain't got nothing for him, but she wants to give all you women this tongue lashing here. Let me go back here.
Leroy gets drunk on Friday night. Carry him. You don't want that, ladies. That's what one woman is telling you want. Basically, you want to fuss and fight every day of your life and tell a man how no good he is, and you want to yell and scream at him.
She has no smoke for him. She has no smoke for this guy right here.
Asking him, why is he doing?
Let me go. She has no smoke for him. What?
Number one, the most obvious benefit of being in Brazil dating versus the United States is women do not hesitate coming back home with you. It is unbelievably easier to get. If you're in Brazil and you have not had intercourse in a long time, I'm sorry to tell you, as a man, that's more than likely your fault. It's got to be something wrong with you. The women here do not weaponize it against you like they would in the States. Meanwhile, in the States, y'all have blue balls and y'all are over here, offing yourselves and.
So she's defending this guy. Okay, let me go back to that clip.
The United States.
So she's defending this dude right here, who has a reputation for being disrespectful to women, for obviously doing a little bit of tricking, as he admitted himself. I am not lying. And he has made it clear that it's his way or the highway. And his way is promiscuity, as you heard before. But she's got smoke for you, ladies. That's a definition of what a mammy is, where they don't hold men accountable. Yes, a woman can hold a man accountable, either behind the scenes or live. She should be telling this man, look, if you want to run through women, then don't get mad if they say no, or don't get mad if they're not doing what you want them to do. In fact, I'll say it. Dude, this goes for everybody. Dude, fellas, if you want to run through women, don't get mad if they say no. Whether it's in body language, whether it's in actions, whether it's in behavior, don't get mad at them because they say no. They are not here for your consumption. Simply put. Simply put. So that's the point I'm trying to make right there. What's worse in the mammy sphere is when you have a mammy who is a hypocrite, who does not hold everyone equally accountable. And she doesn't. I mean, it's different if there was some nuances to it, but we're talking about one of the most disrespectful, promiscuous men, noted, because who knows, there's probably plenty that are on, under the radar, noted in this space. That's evil. Women would trust this woman. This is why we were calling her what we were calling her before, which is really an enabler of promiscuous men. You're literally telling women to get with this dude by defending him when you say what you say in your latest videos. This video is going to be online for a very long time. Do you really want to live this one through? Let me, it's very important I play what he said again, because this is who he's defending, who she's defending.
The most obvious benefit of being in Brazil dating versus the United States is women do not hesitate coming back home with you.
If that's not the frame of mind you want Black men to be in the United States, if we are going to build. That's the funny thing. That's what exposes the manosphere. The manosphere gets exposed because they always talk about, oh yeah, we're here for building. This guy's not here for building, but you made him a mega star in the manosphere. He's not here for building. He's here for tricking. And there's nothing wrong with tricking, but don't disrespect women while you do it. Just kind of slide through and shame yourself, because that's part of it. They're ashamed that they have to trick, and they get mad at women for it, and they berate women for it. That's why he got kicked out of Brazil. Now, let's see what SIIX has to say. SIIX, break it down for us.
Peace and love, family. It's your girl, SIIX the Goddess. And keep in mind, I'm a goddess and I'm sensitive about my shift. So there's been a lot going on this week, and I'm pretty sure everyone, I mean, it's all I see all over my timeline about, passport brothers,
By the way, this is 5 months old. This is 5 months old. This is before dude got kicked out. Scott, welcome. Welcome. And my comment about, let's just listen.
Banned from Brazil, banned from South America. And I wanted to give my 2 cents on it because there is an aspect of this that I have been, thinking about for quite some time.
Remember now, she's Manosphere or something like it.
And I think that this recent banning and exposure shows a lot. So I want to give my 2 cents on this because there's a lot to unpack here. What also is a lot is not being in good health. Okay. Now, for those of you who do not know, I have been juicing. Juicing has absolutely been probably one of the best things I have done for my health and my well-being. I'm that girl. I don't like to eat a big cold salad.
Okay, this is your Alpha Juice commercial. Buy the damn thing.
So in order for me to get my
food
raw fruits and vegetables in, it helps basketball. I keep some in the fridge, some in the freezer. I enjoy using mine for a pre-workout from Alpha Juice, Mini, Virgo, and Georgia Peach. Okay, those are my 3 favorite flavors. Okay. Now, the concept, for those of you who don't know, the concept of a passport brother is men that pretty much travel abroad for intercourse. That's what it really comes down to. Okay. Some men can dress it up, put a bow tie on it. But at the core of it all, it's men that go abroad looking for intercourse. And
boom. I wanted to make sure I played this statement because she would be rated probably as a mammy to a lot of people. I'm not going to rate her myself because I just haven't seen enough. But I will say this. They follow her channel. She just broke it down for you. Let me play it again.
Mini, Virgo, and Georgia Peach. Okay, those are my 3 favorite flavors. Now, the concept, for those of you who don't know, the concept of a passport brother is men that pretty much travel abroad for intercourse. That's what it really comes down to. Okay. Some men can dress it up, put a bow tie on it. But
you see, King Sigma wants to dress it up and put a bow tie in it. I think Scott wants to do the same. Let me drop the link just in case somebody wants to come up because, hey, let's hear your point of view. You guys always say echo chamber. Well, there's your chance. There's the link. You got your chance to say that, but this is coming straight from SIIX. This is not coming from a feminist or what you guys would call a feminist, or it's not coming from me, it's coming from her. And I agree with what she is saying. I have had discussions. This is why I go to different platforms, even platforms that I may not agree with, because I want to get the information straight from the horse's mouth. Okay? I want to get the information straight from the horse's mouth. So I'm going to say this. What SIIX the Goddess is saying is 100% correct. It is exactly that. Yeah, from time to time, some guy might say he's there for business. And then some other guy might say, well, no, I'm actually there for, the sites, to see the sites and whatever. Fine. Then you're a black traveler. But if you want to call yourself a passport bro, which the leader was extremely promiscuous, that's up to you. If you want to convolute and confuse stuff, feel free to call yourself a passport bro, even though you can consistently state that you are not, because you're not there solely for sex. So this is the deal. Traveling is a wonderful thing to do. Tricking, it's not my thing. Do your thing, fellas. I don't care. But don't blame women why you're tricking. Don't blame women why you're tricking, because you're tricking. Don't do it. Don't do it. You've seen everything. Look, I could play video after video of reasons why. But let's keep it going. Let's keep this going right now.
At the core of it all, it's men that go abroad.
I'd like to stop the tape one more time before I keep going, because I want to make it clear that I dropped the link, and that if somebody wanted to debate me on this kindly and nicely in a professional manner, I'd be happy to do so. But I understand if you just want to stay in the chat. It's cool. So I'm going to keep it going, but I wanted to make it clear the link had been dropped. The link is going to be dropped once again. I don't like when people go to other rooms and go, oh, dude never dropped the link. It's just an echo chamber. You have a chance to change it from the echo chamber. Here we go.
Okay, some men can dress it up, put a bow tie on it. But at the core of it all, it's men that go abroad looking for intercourse. And women do this as well. However, the Passport Brothers movement is specific to men. So recently, there is a young man by the name of Auston Holloway who was doing like video blog style content in Brazil. And what he was doing is, going up to random women in the country, asking them questions like, would you kiss me? If we go on a date, would you go home with me? And he's kind of like putting the camera in these women's faces. These women, English is not their first language. And he's asking them these questions. And I felt uncomfortable for the women when I saw the clip. These clips have since been taken down, so I'm not going to waste too much time trying to find them to put them in this video, but it's not hard to find. I mean, if you want to find it, you can go look at it. But I remember when I first heard about the passport movement, and we were talking about this in my Patreon, and I said, I don't think that women should ever police their men. And I said, if they feel like the passport movement is for them, then so be it. I am a firm believer in men being able to do whatever they want. I am also a firm believer in whenever a man comes to face the consequence of doing what he wants, I am a big advocate for staying out of it and minding our business. I never spoke on the passport concept because I knew I did not need to. I knew the whole time that the real issue was not going to be between them and the women. I knew the real issue was going to be between them and other men. There's a certain
Chester, that's actually a good comment. It's on YouTube, and everyone should know the age of consent, whether you plan on doing anything or not. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Chester, my God, I don't know what has gotten into you, but sometimes you're starting to say some logical shit. I'm kind of getting worried about you. Just kidding, Chester. Here we go. Actually, that's a very good comment. Tomas says this: these passport bros are financing sex trafficking with their dollar. This we ain't hurting nobody excuse assumes they are not giving money to pimps and traffickers. That's a good point. That's a doggone good point, Tomas. Camo says this: these men know they see when they these men know what they see when they look in the mirror every day, but live in denial, making excuses. Absolutely. Absolutely, Camo, you nailed it. Here we go. Scott says, King Sigma, is that dude? Yeah, he's actually come up with some decent comments. I mean, I'm really, who knows? There's hope for him.
Certain respect that other men have to have for one another. we do not have a culture here as Black Americans of Black women being protected, mainly because Black women are constantly bucking the system. Black American women are habitually large. You cannot carry them out of a burning building. How can you protect?
Uh-oh, here comes a red pill. Here comes a red pill. Generally, this is where me and SIIX start to break. Number one is like this. This is male rhetoric she's saying right now. Because it would be, she would have a point if all the men in America, you know, looked like this. Okay? But they don't. They don't. 80%, they're saying 80% of Black women are obese and 70% of Black men are obese, which means there's only a 10% differential. So what that means is really the majority of the men shouldn't be complaining about the majority of the women because they're in no better shape than the women are. So I'll play this. Let me keep playing this for a little bit longer.
Protect women that you cannot pick up. So I don't feel the need to do this whole complaining thing or Black men don't protect us. I'm not doing all that. Black women.
No, Black men. We made it clear that Black men don't want to protect. There was actually a if she tuned into Dee Dee, you know, and I'm sure Dee Dee and her are pals or might be pals, but if she tuned into Dee Dee's, there are men on there complaining about not wanting to be protected by women and not wanting to protect women. They made it clear. And so, yeah, women are not being protected. So what good is it? What good is it for a woman to associate with men that don't want to protect them? Welcome to the stage, Heathen Queen. What are your thoughts?
Hey, DJ. That's why I don't watch SIIX's content. I heard very early on that she likes to shame women who are overweight, and I just can't get next to another female who would do something like that. So I've never really went to her channel. Sometimes these women make me ashamed to be a woman sometimes.
Hey, I understand. About a lot of men.
I mean, I understand making money, but that's just, you just go too far when you make shots or you put shots towards women. I mean, I could say more, but I'm not going to say more. She is what she is, but she's not getting my money. But anyway, the Passport Bros, they like to go over there for the young age. I read in the comment section that people, the guys know all the ages of consent around the world because they want to know how close they can get to a young girl.
Isn't that crazy?
Like, what? Really? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a. And if they could, they would. If they could, they would. That's the crazy part.
And you always get caught. You always get caught. It makes me wonder now. I mean, when I hear that they know the ages of all the countries around that they can go to, it makes me wonder, why don't you go to England? Or why don't you go to Ireland? Or why you're not going to Denmark? Why aren't you taking your pathology over there? Why aren't you going to those countries? Because you can take advantage of the women in the other countries. You can't do that in Denmark or Norway.
Right.
Or you'll get sliced and diced in Russia or or any other. You go to Italy and try to pull that. You're gonna end up with a funny necktie.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't take it to where they can get into trouble. They take it where the laxes that they don't care about women of the night, or they don't care about prostitution. They take it where they can get away with their degeneracy. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Let me keep playing this. Let's see what else we got here. I'm going to go over here to SIIX's evaluation of Dr. Umar. Here we go.
Oh, Dr.
Peace and love, family. It's your girl, SIIX the Goddess.
Let me go forward.
get the woman out the house.
Okay.
Her feminism, because
she jumps right into it. Good.
And is very fluent in, sent them to me. And so I have some, I think it's like a segment of the interview. I think it was a 2-part interview. And I have a segment here queued up that seems to be pretty controversial. And so we're going to look at it and we're going to go ahead and break it down. Let me share this and let's just get right into it. Lord, let us pray. Now, let me just say this before. I like Dr. Umar, okay? I think he's funny. I think he's brilliant as well. In this conversation, in this video, I want us to strictly focus on the facts, which is that he is a psychologist, okay, and is very fluent in Black history across the U.S. and the diaspora. We are not going to take that from him. I think a lot of times we don't agree with the way people go about things or the timeline on the way people do things. And we're trying to discredit, you know, all of their knowledge. We're not doing that here. We're going to go straight from the fact this is someone who is educated and licensed to speak on this field. And we're going to take that for face value. So don't be in the comments talking about where's the school, where's the school. Pay attention to the message. Y'all be worried about the wrong things, stuff that ain't your business, okay? We are not here for that. We're just going to focus on the interview. Okay.
Black women to view Black men as the enemy.
It has. Feminism was financed by the CIA. Gloria, what was her name? Gloria Steinem, I think she was.
Right, yeah.
Mother of modern feminism, because traditional feminism goes back to the 1800s, right? With Susan B. Anthony and those white supremacists. But Gloria Steinem was a CIA agent. They financed her. Her first feminist magazine they paid for. The CIA brought feminism into the white household to get the woman out the house and into the Black household to turn the Black woman against the Black man. To scapegoat us for problems caused for her by white supremacy.
So, you know, obviously, you know, a big thing, obviously, speaking of that.
Let me pause on that for a minute. I don't know if I believe him or not believe him. I don't have enough information to say either way.
Right.
Heathen, right. What are your thoughts?
It was too convoluted for me. I didn't understand how that logic. I can't follow that logic. Sometimes I can follow Dr. Umar, but sometimes he gets so deep with it. I'm just confused. I'm lost. I'd have to read up on it. I have no clue what he is saying. It's throwing me off. I have no clue. I didn't know feminism. I didn't know they did that then, but he knows better than I know. So
I guess, I mean, to me, it's like, it sounds like some type of conspiracy theory. And I'm not saying it didn't happen because look, he's a doctor, right? I'm not.
Right.
So I got it. But you know, it just sounds weird. But that's all I'm going to say is it sounds weird. I'm not going to say it's true or untrue.
I mean,
I just want everybody to know that I'm not eating it up.
Right. I mean, you say like the person in the chat says, you say all the right buzzwords and people start listening. It don't mean what he's saying is the truth. He could just be talking straight out of his katukas. But you know, what do I know? It just don't sound plausible to me. But then I'm not that educated on that subject. So. All
right, let's keep it going. Feisty says he has no proof of this. And I believe that he does. And the thing is this, to me, him saying that, it wasn't, these guys are pretty easy. And what I mean by easy is really they're not nearly as educated as he is. And he probably could have won this argument 50 different ways, right?
Right.
But he went in a way that I felt like he made it harder for him to look reputable.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, as much as I agree with a lot of what Umar says, that doesn't sound on point to me. I understand it might be absolutely true, but then you got to show some receipts or something because that sounds crazy. You know? It just sounds crazy. It does. I mean, it's important that we let people know we're not suckers, whether we want to agree with something or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got crazy, but I didn't want to say crazy. But you know,
I'll say it. I'll open up the lane for crazy. You know?
Right.
So let me keep this going. Here we go.
Speaking of that, you know, I've seen a video of yours where you said that feminism has conditioned Black women to view Black men as the enemy.
It has. Feminism was financed by the CIA. Gloria, what was her name? Gloria Steinem, I think she was.
Right, yeah.
Mother of modern feminism, because traditional feminism goes back to the 1800s, right? With Susan B. Anthony and those white supremacists. But Gloria Steinem was a CIA agent. They financed her. Her first feminist magazine they paid for. The CIA brought feminism into the white household to get the woman out the house, and into the Black household to turn the Black woman against the Black man. To scapegoat.
Camo said this, and this is important. Camo said Black men never talked about how they benefited from feminism. And then Scott said, well, you know, how did men benefit? And it's really easy. They're alive. Believe it or not, women's having more rights. Saying that you guys want to give Black women the single mother, you know, the single mother label. Well, how do you think they were able to find a job, get paid well enough to raise the majority of you guys?
Right.
Where do you think they got it from? Do you think if feminism wasn't around, that they would get enough money to be able to feed you?
And here's another thing, DJ. Why does any human being understand why feminism was started? Why was feminism started? At a very crappy level, feminism was started because women had crappy husbands. Women had crappy men in the workplace who treated women like second and third class citizens. That's why feminism at its basic core was started. And it kills me when I see females running around on the internet talking about you just a feminist. You feminism is so bad and this, that, and the third. These people don't even know why feminism was started. Feminism was started because we had shitty husbands, excuse my French, but we had shitty husbands and shitty workmates. That's why feminism was started, because they would not let us get equal pay. They would not let us get equal jobs. They would not let us get equal anything. That is why feminism at its basic core was started. And I'm just astounded when I hear females run around the internet talking about, you a feminist. Feminism ain't no good. That's the worst thing to happen. You don't even know what feminism is. You don't even know what that means. You don't even know what that means, because at its core, that's what it meant. Right. That's why it started. That's it. For no other reason that we had shitty husbands and shitty workmates. Period. Male.
So basically, that's it. That's it right there. I mean, basically, the thing is this: the government saw that the women were willing to work, and that a lot of women were not. But they were having kids, and unfortunately, whether we can have a whole live on just why the men left. We really could, but they left.
Right. You can have more than one live. What do you mean?
Right. But they left.
Right.
So the government had to put something in place. So it's like, well, I mean, they're willing to work, so let's put something in place so that if they want to get a job, they can get a job and get paid for it. Because before, I believe what a lot of these men are missing is that before, a woman didn't have to get paid as much as men because they had a husband who was working. That it was still messed up, because you should just, by logic, you should just get paid for the same job.
Right.
But
I mean, even today we don't get paid. Even today we still are behind in the wage gap. It may not be as big, but back then it was really, really big. Right. And then it was like you couldn't even work. They wouldn't even allow you to work as a woman, as a wife. These are the reasons that feminism got started. And people, I just don't understand any woman that would be against feminism or feminist behavior because somebody done told them that it was wrong. It started because we didn't have what we have today. And
Right.
women today would not have half of what they have today if it wasn't for women like our grandmothers and our grandfather, the people that wanted us to have equal rights and equal pay. Feminism is not a bad thing. It wasn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing today. It's not as prevalent because now we have equal pay and equal working condition, and we have mostly equal this, that, and the third now.
Right.
Like feminism is not as prevalent as it was back then. But the whole point when it started, we didn't have anything as a female. Try going back to 1920, trying to live and be a black female. The worst. Try to be the black female back then. You were behind black men, white men, Hispanic women, white women. You were behind everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You got treated like trash. And yet we have black women on the internet talking about, you don't need no feminism. Feminism is the worst thing to happen. Y'all better stop. Y'all better do your research before you start talking about what you don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, basically the thing is that what men did lose because of feminism is leverage. They did lose that because now a woman didn't have to put up with bad behavior.
Right.
So that's what they're talking about. That's why the Manosphere hates it, because they want to be able to behave poorly. Okay, these men want to be able to behave poorly and still control women. And now with that gone, that's where the big problem comes in. That's the big problem. I mean, and I don't agree with their point of view, but I totally see what they're talking about. It's like, wait, I want to be able to control these women. If I want to abuse them or whatever, I don't want, I want to be able, I don't want any options for them to be able to get away from me. That's how these dudes are thinking. So what happens is that feminism, a woman can go, oh, hell no, and leave.
Right.
Believe it or not, if feminism did not exist, two things would happen. One, half of these guys wouldn't even be here.
Right.
Okay. The ones that are complaining about feminism, they wouldn't exist.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's one. And two, these guys would be paying more money for everything, because without feminism, these women wouldn't be able to, if they weren't earning enough money to take care of children, right?
Right.
The government's just gonna do some numbers, some number crunching and find out where they're gonna take money from. So it's either higher taxes, or, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
They're gonna get. So the bottom line is that, fellas, if you don't want to worry about that, well, number one, don't make a kid if you don't want one.
Right.
And two, if you're going to complain about feminism, you might want to look back, especially if you came from a single mother. You might want to go back. Number one, you better thank her every day, because she could have just, if it wasn't for her and feminism, you would not be here. Right. She might have had to make a hard decision on, damn, do I really want to have you, or and struggle for the remainder of my life, right? Or do I want to just go into the doctors and handle this, and then don't make that mistake again, or whatever? You see what I'm saying?
And we probably,
these young men don't think about it like that.
Right. It's like they benefited too. It's just like they don't understand that you benefited from the competent. Well, man, I don't know how black men feel about that. It's just like, look, we would be in a whole different dynamic if feminism had not come along. Right. Men saying, oh, feminism destroyed the family, and feminism destroyed the family and the wife and the husband, and that. No, feminism made sure that women were able to take care of themselves when black men walked off on them and left families. Right. White men left families, whole families, having to take care of themselves. And who did they think was going to step up? it had to be the females.
Right.
And if you got paid $10 an hour and the female got paid $4 an hour, what was she supposed to do? She couldn't afford to take care of a family with $4 an hour. Feminism made sure she was getting paid at least $8 or $9, close to the man who was getting paid 10, and she was able to take care of her family. I am confused about women these days. What is this? Everybody's against feminism, and you don't even know what it was put in place for.
Right.
It was in place for women who couldn't, who had to take care of families because the men walked out, or they died, or whatever. You know, they had to do what they had to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Born out of that. Okay.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
You get it.
Let me see where. Yeah, here we go.
I Googled the dictionary definition of a feminist just to make sure I was talking about the right thing. And do you know, sir, what the dictionary definition of a feminist is? I didn't either. Listen to this. Webster's defines a feminist as a human being, not a woman, a human being that believes in equal rights for women. I was shocked that that's what that meant. Because by that definition, I would consider myself a feminist, and I didn't even know that at the time.
So, my last thing on this on feminism, because we got such a long show.
Okay.
It's like, as these men out here in the manosphere, do you want your sister, your mother, your cousins, okay, your aunties, all to be shortchanged for their efforts at work? Yes or no? It's that simple. And that's what feminism did. Yes, are there some toxic forms of feminism? I'm sure there is, because there's some toxic forms of fishing.
Right.
There's always toxic forms of something, right?
Right.
So,
right.
But for this, in its basic form,
yes,
it gave your mom the opportunity, okay, even with or without a husband. It gave your mother the opportunity to earn more money for you.
Right. Right.
I don't get it. I don't get. There's no other way to say it.
These men got these talking points. These men have these talking points, and they have convinced these women who don't know no better, because you cannot tell me you know better about feminism and you agree with that point. These gentlemen, they got these girls convinced out here that feminism is a bad thing. I just don't. I don't. You got to read.
I don't get it.
Well, start reading. I mean, reading and studying this stuff. I mean, I knew what it meant as soon as they said it. I was like, really? I was like, you guys were shitty excuse my friend. You guys were crappy husbands and crappy employers back then, and the law made sure, and the feminism made sure that we got equal right along with y'all, and that's a bad thing? Oh, come on.
Let me kick some shout outs real quick. We on Lock Nation is in the house. Miss RV is in the house. Columbus Hill is in the house. Vanna Ray is in the house. Chester is in the house. D is in the house. Miss Not For Everyone is in the house. Quita Ward is in the house. Tomas is in the house. Scott Haywood is in the house. Bohemian Bliss is in the house. We have Feisty Black Tina in the house. Feisty Black Magic is in the house. M. Mills is in the house. Camo Kittens and Caskets is in the house. H.T. Baldwin is in the house. Vonda is in the house. Who else is up in this mug? I think I got everybody. Jenny B is in the house. Happy Life is in the house. Okay, I can't scroll up any more than this. DJ is in the house. Jenny B is in the house. All right. So let's keep this rolling.
Goat us for problems caused for her by white supremacy.
So, obviously, a big thing, obviously, we spoke about the gender wars, earlier. Obviously, there's a lot of conversation nowadays about...
Wait a minute. Kay Brown is in the house. You Can't Get Laid is in the house. Bohemian Bliss is in the house. We Unlock in the house. Tomas in the house. Let's keep it going.
the value of what a woman brings and the value of what a man brings in a relationship. And now there's a lot more rhetoric from our women that we hear is I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, right? So,
that's pain speaking though.
Right.
Because most black women know they will never get a man. A black woman can have sex whenever she wants.
Right.
Because she's beautiful. She can have a bed mate, but to have a soul mate, she may never get.
Ouch.
I have 2 daughters, 11 and 20. Right.
And then I go ahead.
Let me pause that. Heathen, did you want to say something?
I was like, that's a very profound point. She can get a bed mate, but she can't get a soulmate. That's our problem right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's our problem right there. That's a lot of people's problem right there.
Mm-hmm. Straight up.
I just wanted to stress that point.
And I will say I agree with that part right there. I've always felt like when women sit there, you've been with that man for 20 years, you don't have 3-4 kids with that man, and then they be out here talking about some, oh, not everyone wants to be married. That is 100% a defense mechanism, 100% cap. It's no different than that man that's broke, okay? And then you roll out with a new Rolls Royce and he talking about, oh, I saw that, but I ain't really like it. Baby, you could never afford it. Okay, don't matter if you liked it or not, baby. It was never in your budget. Okay, so it's the same thing with women. There are some women who feel like they'll never get a man to get down on one knee with a ring and ask them to marry them. So they act like they don't want it. And the truth is, like he said, you just know that you're never getting it. And a lot of women deep down inside, they know that they ain't no good and know they would never be any good to be the woman of a man's life.
Okay, I half agreed with her, but where I disagree is that no good stuff. It doesn't, some people just, maybe if she said that some women have low self-esteem, I could dig it, right? And that they don't feel like they're worthy of having a good man, which is really for both genders is the most important thing. If your self-esteem is low, you're more than likely you're going to have some issues in life. The way she put it about a woman being no good, unfortunately, I disagree with that wholeheartedly, because there are a lot of women that I do believe have issues, and a lot of women that think they're no good, but it's not because they're no good. It's because they think they're no good.
And it's a shot at women. Right. It's a shot.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said it's a shot at women. And we have to realize her platform is tailored towards men. So
it sure is. Now, she's got in trouble lately. They're trying to soil her with her past or whatever, which I think is ridiculous. And actually, it's her past that makes her, believe it or not, a better expert than the majority of these women in these male identified women in the manosphere. I'm trying to be nicer these days.
Oh, she done lived her life, has she?
Yeah,
she lived her life how she want to, huh?
Yeah, no. I mean, back in the day, I think she's referring to herself back in the day in a matter of speaking. Let's go back for one little clip.
Oh, okay.
Here,
forgetting it. And a lot of women deep down inside, they know that they ain't no good and know they would never be any good to be the woman of a man's life.
Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah. And it's interesting that her putting it like that. And I'm not, because maybe you would think, I mean, she's come from a life that people would call her no good back in the day. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now, believe it or not, I think it makes her excellent at this, though, what she's doing now, which is funny why these guys are turning on her, because really, quite honestly, it makes her one of the better experts on this. Like, to me, it's like this. We have Melanie King, right? Who got married fairly young, right? And then her husband recently dumped her. But for 10 years, she was taken care of.
Right.
Right?
Right.
This young lady here, well, she was a stripper back in the day. Okay?
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And the thing is that to survive in that type of job, okay, you got to know male nature back and forth. Otherwise, you might let me tell you, because I DJ for female strippers, I DJ for male strippers, and I've been around enough of both entities to tell you this.
Right. Right.
If a young lady does not pick up on male nature quick enough, she could end up in a garbage can in the back of a club in a minute.
Oh yeah, I get that.
It gets that crazy and bad. You see what I'm saying? Knowing when to protect yourself. So she knows men in and out.
Mm-hmm.
She knows men in and out, and more than probably most guys. I mean, most other per se mammies on here. You see what I'm saying? She knows more than what security boss knows. She knows more than what Chantel Simone knows. She knows more than what Danica Marie knows. She is probably one of the most knowledgeable because her survival depended on it. Okay?
Right.
So I will give her that much. As far as, I should say alleged stripper, because now I'm getting a debate that she might have not been a stripper, even though everybody said she was. But the bottom line is this. Is that for them to smoke her on it now, they can kiss my ass. That's, I guess, what I'm saying. Hold on, they can kiss my ass.
Wow. Right.
Okay. So, the bottom line is this: is that if now she's red pill, and I don't agree with her, but at the same time, if I got to kick facts, I got to kick facts.
Right.
So, I guess that's it. But it's just weird her kind of having this kind of out of body experience if she was indeed a stripper, and I'll double check that later.
I mean, she has an audience. She has an audience, and she knows what her audience wants to hear. Right. I just cringe when I hear her talk. That's all. I cringe when I hear her talk because I like to see a more balanced approach. But that's not her channel. I don't visit her channel, so she's good at her channel. Let her be good over there on her channel. That's all.
Yeah, let me double check. I'm going to double check this because I don't want to defame anybody. Okay, so we're looking at. I prefer to find something. Oh, that's cold.
What?
Well, let me put this up right here for now. Oh, I knew it was Nathan Daly. Dude is weird. He's been stalking her for I don't know how long.
Oh wow.
I mean,
he's calling her those names.
Yeah.
Ouch.
He's a former officer, and really, quite honestly, that's not. He was. See, it's the funny thing is that she has more expertise in this field than he does. He as an officer, you're not really trying to get as deep into therapy or anything with these people. You're basically supposed to attack people that attack people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know why. I don't know why. See, he's here again. Okay.
Oh, that's that police officer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that looks like. Oh, okay. Now I see. Okay, I got it. I think I saw him on the Lapifa.
Yeah, he's probably on there.
Channel Lapifa panel. Okay, I got it. Okay, he's got a beef with her. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, and you see, and so we have the room. WOL Nation.
And so now she's having even more of a beef with the guys in the Manosphere. Is that it?
Basically,
I could have sworn she started out as a beef with MTR, and then I guess it extended out from MTR. I don't know.
Yeah, see, here he is again.
Okay, yeah, that's the police officer. Yeah, that's him. Okay. I remember seeing him on the Lapeef channel. Right.
So as far as I see right here, I'm going to say alleged because I don't see anything directly.
If I may, sir.
Go for it. Please speak.
Right. Okay. With that whole situation, they were both going back and forth.
Okay.
She came out with a video with him being dragged outside of the car while he was on duty or whatever, and she made that a trend. So he made it his position to call out her by saying she was a stripper and talked about her children and everything. So they're going basically back and forth with one another. So that's how that strains out. But she's basically cut that out since then.
Got it. So basically, she's basically with the information. He was the one who purveyed this information, and she's not a stripper, as far as we know. She's not.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Would that be a safe assumption?
We'll keep it there because we don't know anything about her life other than she had plastic surgery on her chest and everything. So
okay.
But
so they'd rather just tap out.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Creative. Did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, go ahead, man. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, I was trying to see if Creative Solutions.
Oh, no. Go ahead. You play the video. After the video.
Okay.
And not participate as opposed to playing the game and losing. I see that every day. That part I agree with. That's big fact. Big hurt.
Right. My oldest would be 21 this week. Statistically, right? There's a strong chance my daughter could be one of those. I hope she's not. She could be one of those who never get a husband because only 1 out of 4 gets a husband. You see that?
And you know what the sad part about that is he's probably right. She probably won't, because 9 times out of 10, women follow the path of their mother and the dysfunctions of their mother, whether they like it or not, whether they mean to or not. This is why getting to know your ancestors and the women that you came from and connecting with them, getting their guidance is very important, because she'll probably get married just like you never married her mom. So more than likely it won't happen. It's very low chances it will, because she'll probably follow the same path that her mom did. So it's kind of weird to me when men,
And conversely, I like to break in some of my experience. I remember a long time ago, not very long, but a long time ago, 15 years ago, maybe. I was dating somebody, and she was dead set on getting married. She lived in the hood in Oakland. But she just one day she said, "Look, I'm here for marriage." We talked for a little while, but I mean, at that time, I wasn't thinking about marriage. She was dead set on marriage. We stopped talking because, we weren't going anywhere, right? Behold, not more than I think 2 years and a half later, we're Facebook friends, right? She's getting married. So, and I mean, we're talking about a young lady. She had kids, right? She had kids, lived in the hood, right? Married.
Right.
Put her mind to it.
Right.
If it don't mind, it don't mind. If you don't mind, it don't matter. It's that simple. It's that simple. If you put your mind, I need to, let me get out my notebook of marriageable qualities a man should have. You know what I'm saying? I got a D grade. She went to the next guy. He got a B grade. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I respect her so much for that. I respect her so much.
Right.
Sounds
She went for what she wanted. If a woman doesn't want that, hey, that's all good. But she went for what she wanted. She didn't waste time. She was out without a doubt. You see what I'm saying? Got with the right guy.
DJ got to the curb. You got to the curb, DJ.
Oh, they're gonna eat me up. Yeah. 15 years ago. Well, see, 15 years ago, I think every man probably got kicked through the curb 1 or 2 times. No, respectably kicked to the curb. Okay. So I was like, cool, man.
Well, you gotta respect it. You gotta respect it.
It's all about if you focus on what you want,
right?
Okay. Right. And it wasn't about that submission stuff. It was all about matching. Okay, finding the
Is
right
he fun?
match, the right mentality. That's what it's about.
Right. Right.
Is he fun? Is he funny in different types of ways? Can he be cordial? They say Shirly is dead. Can he open the door for me? Can he open up a chair and let me sit down and let me be in my human way? I don't do all that feminist stuff. You had to be feminine. You had to be masculine. Blah blah blah. We all know who we are as human beings.
Right. Right.
But I have an issue with this one thing, though. This one thing. The men in the manosphere don't like us women having education and us having these jobs that we have, right?
Are you in the deadosphere?
The what sphere? I'm sorry. The manosphere.
The deadosphere.
Or deadosphere. Deadosphere. Or the deadosphere, however you put it. I mean, their objection is that we have jobs, we're too masculine, we're too this, that, and the third. And so they're calling for us to be more submissive, less educated, and everything else. Now, here's my question. If men are on level number 3, and us women who have education and jobs are on level 6, why would you call to find a woman that's on level 2 below you? Who looks for somebody below them?
Weakness
in education and status. Who would do that? What kind of human? What kind of human? Why would you want a human with less than you, or way less than you? No education.
That's a good point.
Pregnant.
You know something? You brought up a good point, to the point where I'm going to go all the way to this right here, since we're talking about people who let's let the doctor talk to her.
The doctor talk to her.
4 ways broke toxics and narcissists will dominate and abuse you. Let's talk about it. Because a lot of women don't see this one coming. In fact, there's a lot of controversy about women and whether or not they should accept men who earn less than them. And even this misconception that men who have less financially are going to be more loving and contribute in other ways, because often this is not the case. In fact, more often than not, even men who are not traditionally toxic or abusive can become quite resentful and abusive with such a dynamic. But we won't get into that right now. We're going to talk about the men who are toxic and abusive but broke, and how they go about dominating and controlling you. The first one is they move in to your place, and usually without your permission. They do this by spending excessive amounts of time at your place and by bringing their things over and keeping them there. And over a period of time, you'll just find that they are actually just living with you. Another way they might do this is through a crisis of some type. There'll be a situation in which they need to move out of their current place very quickly. And guess what? You can be of help. You can be of help by allowing them to move in. And once they move in, that's when they can start monopolizing your time and dominating your life. They can start isolating you by making it difficult for friends and family to visit, or by making it difficult for you to go out and visit those people. They can dominate you by increasing your finances. Usually, these types don't actually make any sort of contribution to your home. So you'll often find that there's an added pressure on you financially. And this kind of introduces an element of financial abuse, because this is how they spend your money without actually actively spending your money. For example, you all need to eat, right? But who's buying the groceries? Not them, you. Instead of now buying for one, you're now buying for two, right? So you're doing all the normal things.
Is that for real or what?
No, this is real talk. Something like this happened to me like once or twice. And then my best friend was like, isn't that dude leaving? Why don't he ever go home? Like, why is he always at your place? And I'm like, yeah, I need him to leave so I can have my house to myself. Like, we're not married or nothing like that. And he would spend days. So then now if he's staying here and then you're cooking food, now you have no choice but to make sure he eats.
No, right?
No, for real, it is. And then you have to wash your own clothes because you got to go to work,
Right.
and now you end up washing his clothes because now he's here.
Man.
No, I swear. And then you find yourself like, damn, I gotta stock up. I gotta buy toilet paper. I gotta do all of these things, and this motherfucker is still sitting here.
Man, I mean, did he at least give you some money or something?
No, then I told him, listen, if you gonna stay here, you don't have to pay the rent. If you can't pay the rent, then you can't stay here.
I hear that. You shouldn't have even had to bring that up. That's the crazy part.
And it's
That is
like,
weird.
She's dead on. She is dead on. She is.
For the record, I washed my wife's, my kids' clothes and my clothes, fold them up and put them away.
I hear that.
Just saying.
For yourself. However, you've got a double bill. This is how they spend your money without spending your money, which causes you to feel that financial pressure without them actively and blatantly adding that pressure. So not only are they dominating your social life, they're also dominating your finances. This leads me to number 2, which is financial abuse. Now you might be thinking, okay, but so they covertly spend my money, but there's no other way that they could financially abuse me because they're not rich, right? Wrong. They can also financially abuse by spending your money and putting you into debt, by getting car loans in your name, by borrowing large amounts of money and never paying you back. These are all forms of financial abuse. You see, it's not just about them restricting access to their money. They can also restrict and limit access to your own finances by spending and putting you into debt. And this is...
Scott Haywood said, why would a woman let a man move into her place? But I think she explained it in here how that happens. The guy just
Yeah, we
keeps,
don't allow that. They all of a sudden they're spending time with you, and then they don't leave to go home to their house. Like they like, you have your own house. Like, why are you here all the time?
yeah, exactly. The hobo, Scott, back in the day, we would call somebody like that a hobo.
Right. You would call him a hobo. That's correct. It's like, look, we as women have tried to progress onto a certain level, and so it's not like we don't want our men to be educated. We want them to come to the level. The same example I gave. If we're on level 7, if the masculine women who have jobs and who have money are on level 7, why is it that we have to ask or beg our men to come up to that level 7 just to be on the same, have the same playing field? It's like they keep saying, you're not, we don't care about your money. Yes, you do care about our money. When you don't have any, you care about our money.
Right.
Okay? And you know what? And here's another thing I meant to say. We women would not mind marrying men who don't make as much as we do, except the men would mind. The men would have a problem. The men's egos would have a problem. We'd run into problems with that man. We don't have a problem because here's the thing. When a man makes more money than us, you don't hear us acting up. If we make less than him, you don't see us acting up out all time, all hours of the night, acting up, cheating, doing all this kind of thing. You don't see us acting up because we make less money. But if we make more money and the man makes less money, he act up even more because he's trying to do something with his ego. He's trying to make up for the blow that is to his ego. We wouldn't mind marrying men who made less than us if he knew how to keep himself in check, if he knew how to check his ego from being emasculated or feeling emasculated because we make more money. But we just can't seem to find men who don't feel emasculated when we make more money. Because that's why they keep saying your money doesn't mean anything. Yes, it does mean something. You can't handle us having more money.
If I may, maybe I'm out of my element when I say this. What's wrong with when a woman makes more than you, slightly or more? What's wrong with me as a man, as a male, going out and getting more.
There's
That should be
no,
that
there's
should be
nothing
right.
wrong with it. The thing is, what we're trying to say is that when a woman makes more money, the man kind of feels inferior. He kind of feels a certain way, like he needs to one up her.
No,
He
no, no.
needs to.
I get that. I get that part.
Okay.
I get that part. I'm not talking. I'm not going against the female. I'm asking the male. I'm asking men themselves. Why not you just level up and either be equal or more than? Like, for example, I make more than my wife. There was a time where my wife made more than me. So it's just as long as the bills are paid. Just as long as we pay the utilities. Just as long as we can put food on the table so our kids can eat. Well, there's nothing wrong with a woman making more than you. It's at the end of the day, we support each other as family, as comrades, as confidants, as lovers. That's what all should matter. Again, I might be out of my element when I say that.
No. You know what? You are very you're more mature. You already know how the game works, and you probably love and care about your wife. So things like that doesn't really matter to you because you guys have a real, authentic bond. Most of these men out here, they're not developing this type of strong bond with the woman. They just get in with them because they're supposed to get with a woman or she looks nice. They don't really love them like that. So you're happy and you're very grateful. That's what it sounds like. A lot of these men are not like that. They have to maybe when they're 40 or 50, they'll probably look at the bigger picture.
Right. It's like that discussion needs to. Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
So you might have had a plan in place for you to level up, which unfortunately a lot of men do not. A lot of men, they just want to stay where they are. And if the woman makes more than them, there's exactly the dynamic, I believe that Creative and Heathen have explained. There's a dynamic in play that the guy starts to feel jealous. He just does. Unfortunately, there's a portion of men that just start to feel that way. And then that's when these dynamics come into place. In fact, I'm going to let the good doctor tell us, but there's a dynamics that comes into place where the man starts to mentally mess with the guy's head to the point where he becomes toxic. He might have not started out that way, but he ends up that way. And it's not anything to be to the woman. It's just he doesn't feel good about himself because she's the breadwinner for permanently or whatever. And that's the problem. But I have some tape on that'll break it down. Hold on one second. Let me kick out a shout out to Casey Cooper in the house, All Things Nata Jean in the house, Miss Not For Everyone's in the house, Vonda is in the house, Emil is in the house, Big Cap is in the house, Okusun Tom is in the house, Bridget Mouton's in the house, B's in the house, Hey, Future Me is in the house.
Can you put up the comment All Things, I think Nata Jeans?
Got it.
This
DJ, I'm glad that you admitted that men do feel insecure when they are dating a woman who makes significantly a lot more money than they do. Like, at least you admitted it. Because a lot of guys are going to say, well, that's not true. We don't feel intimidated by women who earn more than us. But at least, so that is true. Men do start to feel a certain type of way once they're in a relationship with a woman that is earning much more money than him, right?
Right. So that's a big announcement for the men. It's not a matter of whether we want you poor, rich, whatever. We don't have issues. It's the men who don't make as much as we do that give us issues and problems once their ego starts or their pride starts to get in their way, they start acting up, cheating, spending time out, calling us names, belittling our job, belittling our family, belittling whatever we do. It always happens. That's why a lot of women prefer to be single than to deal with a man who makes less than her, and then she has to deal with him acting up 2-3 years down the line because he feels emasculated. That's why we prefer to be single. That's the problem.
Right. And Jenny B breaks it down like this. Y'all don't mind women making more than you as long as she pretend like you're the breadwinner provider. Yep. And then she needs to dim her light, right? And not talk about her accomplishments. Yep.
Facts.
That's facts.
I think people are getting marriage wrong. They're getting marriage misconstrued because we're not supposed to get married just because of love. I mean, marriage is combining assets. That's why you need a license to get married. We're supposed to be getting married, for it, like as a business contract. We're not, I don't know who came up with this lie that, you get married because of love. Like, where did that stem from?
Yeah, it stemmed from my era. Back in the day.
Right.
I wanted to say something about all things Nadine, her comment about black men. I don't even think it's black men. I think it's just a small portion, or maybe half the men in general. They do like poverty. They like to show a woman, I could do this for you, I could do that for you. They want to feel like they have control. It's almost like the pimp pathology, You get with me and I make sure you all good and everything, but at the end of the day, you got to do all these things.
Yeah, that's a good point, Creative, because when you think about it like this, some men, they are just not making that much money. And the women in the price range that they are supposed to be matched with, right? They don't want. So they want the woman up at the higher end level, not higher end, but at a higher price, right? But they don't have the will or the energy or the knowledge to level up to that level plus, if you know what I mean. So they get mad at the women that technically they're not really matched for. See, they're complaining about women that they're really not ready. They're not ready. It's one thing, it's funny, it's like this. If a woman is making more than you, but let's say you're one class or one certificate away from doubling the amount she makes, right? That's one thing. But if you ain't gonna do shit, then why should you even look at her in the first place? That's the weird thing, is why should you look at a woman you cannot afford? You have to upgrade a woman's life. Now, you might be able to do it personality-wise and with skills-wise. Like, let's say she owns a house and you don't. If you can build a house or keep a house up, that's value. But there's going to be a point where you have to bring in you're gonna have to bring in the bacon. You're gonna have to bring in that money. So you might only make as much as her or slightly less than her. But right. You know how to fix the house, okay? You know how to repair cars. Right. You have a thing for fixing computers or whatever, right? That's added value,
right?
Okay, but right. But the key value that men are overlooking is: are you stable mentally? Right. Are you stable mentally, or are you going to turn into something wrong?
Right.
Okay.
And usually if they make less than we do, it turns out in a very nasty way. If they make less than we do. And that's the bad part. Unfortunately, bad part.
So
yeah, and it's true, because believe it or not, employers grade sanity. People don't, you might have not thought about it, but they grade sanity. If somebody is sane and stable and they're dependable, guess what? They're gonna, naturally you're going to go up the job ladder unless you're just in the wrong field or in the with the wrong people. But eventually you're going to start making a certain level amount of money because of just your basic qualities, which is being dependable, which is being stable, which is being, having common humanity. Okay. What's happening is that why women are using are leery of men that make less than them is usually there's a reason why they're making less than them. That not all reasons. WOL very much could be the exception to the law, but unfortunately for a lot of women, there are not a lot of WOLs nations in the United States. They're just not. There's not a lot of guys who will level up and start making that money. So the problem is that what it is that most men, it is what it is. You got to grade them on who they are right now, unless they're like they're getting a doctorate or something, if you know what I mean, and you see documentation that they're almost done with it, then that's different. But if there ain't no proof of potential, you got to go with who's in front of you right at that time.
Can I say something? Right. So I wanted to touch on King and Sigma's comment, and he said that most men don't need much to survive. And you know what? I understand that, because I want you guys to hear me out, because I had a client like a couple of months ago. This is for my job, and he was a good guy. He went to work every single day. He had multiple jobs, but all he knew how to do was to get up and go to work. And some men are like that. They don't know about, structuring things. So maybe they need to find a woman. They need to seek advice. But a lot of them, they don't do that. Like this guy, every day he went to work and all he did was save his money. He didn't know how to invest or do anything. He owned a house, yes, but that's all he did. He had like almost $250,000 in his bank account.
Wow. See,
$250,000 in his bank account, but he had cancer. He was like struggling with things, but all he knew how to do was work. And I'm just saying, if all you know how to do is work, you need to find you a woman who's smart, who could do all those other things for you.
Excellent advice.
Yeah, you gotta get out that ego. You use your strong suits and you have the other person carry you the rest of the way.
But I wanted to ask a question to the men on the panel. Why is it that you hear, like me growing up, I heard a lot of adults when they insult each other, like the men would say, well, that's why you ain't got a man, to the women, or, they think that's insulting them. Why do Black men think so low by saying, well, that's why you ain't got a man, instead of saying, well, that's why you don't have a husband? Like, what's that about? Like,
trying to humble Black women. They trying to humble Black women. Here's the deal. The deal is a woman can always get a man. We can always get a man, but can we get a good man? That's the whole point. We have to be able to get good men, and we have to be able to get stable men. Any woman can get a man. That's all she got to do is flash a little leg or go outside and look in the mailbox. And there's going to be a man that's looking at her. She can always get a man. They just want to shame us or humble us.
Anything.
I mean, we don't get anything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is getting men is not a problem for women. And we're single by choice. It's a choice. It's not a matter of, oh, okay, well, he ain't going to look at me. We just choose not to look over in that direction. It has nothing to do with whether we can get him or not. Okay, that's what they don't understand. We are single by choice because we don't want to deal with the drama. Look, I'm not going to come home at 12 o'clock at night and my husband, who don't make as much money as I do, and I catch him in bed with the neighbor down the street. I'm not doing that with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that with some man because his ego is so broken up because I make $100,000 and he only make 40. I'm not doing that with some man. Okay. And that's the kind of garbage that we put up with or we deal with if we marry or deal with somebody who makes less than us because of their ego. It's a matter of choice that we're single. It has nothing to do whether we can get a man. We can get a man. That's not the point.
I'm sorry, if I was making Serena Williams money, or even if I had like a lot, like millions of dollars, you know, I would not marry anybody. I would just stay single, have fun, you know, enjoy my life, have a good time, and that's it. Like I would have a relationship with a guy, but it'll be like it wouldn't be anything serious. Just, you know, just have fun and keep it moving. I would not do. I couldn't. I'm like, I think women are stupid who just look for marriage because of love.
Can I say this? I don't want people to be discouraged when they're going out here and finding relationships. I want y'all to know there are people who are on a higher level of spirituality, who have a good character and good morals. Not every guy out here is gonna be like the people in the manosphere. So I just don't want you guys to just throw your cards away without even trying.
I'm not throwing my cards away. I'm not. That's not it at all. It's just that there's certain standards that you have to meet for yourself first before you come over to my table. When you come over to my table, it's 100%. It ain't 30%. I ain't doing 50-50. There's a certain level of man that I have to deal with. I can't deal with one that wants a 50-50 because I just don't conceptualize that kind of thing. I don't do. It's not rich. It's not, you know, extremely rich. It's just there. I can't do the mental gymnastics to double down. I mean, to come down. I just can't do that. You know, me man, you woman type thing. I can't do that. I have to have more than that. So it's not. It's just a matter of finding the right person. I mean, I was married for a long time, so I believe in love. I believe in all of that. I believe in finding the right person and we looking in the same direction and doing the similar things. But we also have to be similar in financial area. We also have to be similar in other areas. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Like I said, I'm not coming home at 12 o'clock at night and my husband is in bed with the gas station attendant. We just can't do that.
Yeah, but what if the love fizzles out? What do you have then? Like, that's why I'm saying that you can't. It's stupid to go.
But you still got to go. You still got to go for an attraction. I'm not marrying somebody. I'm just not marrying somebody on the street because he makes some money. I have to be attracted to the person at some particular point. You have to have something in common with the person. You have to have something in common, some kind of attraction to his lifestyle, or he has to have some kind of attraction to your lifestyle. You have to have things in common. You just can't walk into a room and expect him because he has money and you have money for you to be attracted. Because otherwise, attractive women would be picking attractive men. But a lot of attractive women pick unattractive men because they have a lot in common. So you have to do some of that. Okay.
I'm going to move forward to our next clip. But this conversation was good because it actually sets up what's going to happen next. This is the problem with dating down right here for women. Here we go.
So Tia Mowry is finally opening up about her divorce from Corey Hardrick and how he tried to steal her money, and she is completely heartbroken over it.
Right out the gate. I can't even get 2 seconds into this video.
Whoa, that's what happened?
You can't.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't know that's what happened.
This is the bad side. See, WOL Nation is the good side of a woman who initially dates down, while unfortunately, a large portion of the men, they are going to be Hardricks. Let me play it again.
So Tia Mowry is finally opening up about her divorce from Corey Hardrick and how he tried to steal her money, and she is completely heartbroken over it.
And I just started to cry. I literally just started bawling, and that had never happened to me.
Her divorce from Corey recently got finalized, but there was a lot of drama behind the scenes because Corey tried to get the court to cancel their prenup so he could get his hands on her money. Well, Tia is finally speaking on the drama, and y'all won't believe the crazy things that Corey did to her during the divorce. So it's starting to look like Corey Hardrick just might have been after Tia's money after all. It's been a couple of weeks since their divorce got finalized, and for a while, we thought that the divorce was amicable since we didn't didn't hear anything bad or messy about it. But listen, it turns out that not only was their divorce messy as F, but their marriage was just as messy. Tia and Corey started dating in 1999 and got married in 2008. They were celebrated as a great example of Black love, so it was kind of shocking when Tia announced last year that they were getting a divorce. She said, "I wanted to share that Corey and I have decided to go our separate ways. These decisions are never easy and not without sadness. We will maintain a friendship as we co-parent our beautiful children." Like I said, it was shocking because she was the type of person that said stuff like,
I can't even visualize myself, without Corey.
So to see her going from saying cute stuff to getting divorced sent shockwaves through social media. People immediately started speculating about what was wrong, and per usual, there were talks and rumors of infidelity on Corey's side. But it quickly became obvious that that wasn't the case. Tia hinted very strongly that the main reason the marriage ended was because of money. She liked a video by the Neighborhood Talk about a partner who refused to pay bills and pull his weight financially in that.
Spicy Black Tina says, are we surprised though she found him on the bus stop working security? I mean,
Yeah. She was desperate.
The bus
I'm
driver.
sorry. That was desperate move on her.
So
we understand that she dates a normal person instead of another celebrity. Give her kudos for that.
yeah, was he an actor before she met him?
Was she an actor?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Was he an actor before she met him?
Oh,
I don't know. I think he was in between acting gigs. He wasn't being. I think she knew him from high school or something. Their hometown.
Okay. Let me keep playing this.
A house.
You live here, so you're not gonna pay it. Wait, what? So what would you do if I wasn't living here with you? What would you do? I would pay the rent and all the bills. Exactly. So why do you need me to pay the rent and the bills if you can do it by yourself? It was your idea. It was your idea to move in together, so you're not gonna help pay any bills. You know I'm in between jobs. You know I done put in 5 applications. And why'd you move in with me with no?
Not only did Tia like this video, but she also dropped a side-eye emoji under the post. In case her liking the video did not send a clear enough message. Her message was received loud and clear because people immediately started putting 2 and 2 together and realized that Tia had probably gotten tired of carrying Corey financially, so she dumped him. Now, for those of you who don't know, Tia had been the main provider in their relationship since they started dating. She was an already known actress in the industry and was getting a steady supply of jobs while he still was a struggling actor who was waiting for his big break. So not only was he a broke boy, but he was also owing thousands of dollars to the California state government. So he was broke. A couple of people warned Tia to be careful, but she was too in love to listen. At least she was smart enough to get a prenup before they got married. But even after filing, Tia was still trying to keep the divorce respectful. And last year, she spoke to the paparazzi about how she was looking forward to spending holidays with Corey and her kids.
How are you doing? I mean, I know, spending the holidays. I mean, do you plan on spending the holidays maybe with Corey?
Yes,
or?
we are. We are going to be spending the holidays with him, which we're really excited about.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
With the whole fam. I love
With the
that.
whole family.
I mean, after the divorce and everything, do you think more families should, be together, be united during these times, especially during the holidays?
I mean, family is family, no matter what happens. And that's what's important to me. So we will always be family.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, a couple of days after that, Corey filed a lawsuit of his own. And from the contents of the lawsuit, it quickly became obvious that he was after Tia's money. Now, in the original divorce petition, they asked the courts.
That's why, especially Black women, cannot date down. Any women really, but since we're in the black, in the black segment right here, there it is. That
I was going to say, have you ladies ever heard of a man picking a mate for you, or whether it be your father or your grandfather or whoever in your family picking a mate for you? when you were younger?
Yes.
Okay.
I couldn't even understand what he said.
He said, "Have you ever heard of your family picking a mate for you, like your father or your grandfather? You know how
Yes.
back in the day they
Yeah,
used
but
to
this is
invent."
America. This is not like.
But see,
I
here's
know,
the
but
thing.
we talking about traditions, like
Oh,
way back then.
here's the thing. You're making it seem as though. See, this is another statement I got. You're talking as though all black women seem to be making mistakes when they pick men.
No, ma'am. This ain't my talking points. This is not my talking points.
He
I
didn't
don't do
finish.
argumentative
He didn't finish
stuff.
saying, but he was going to say it. That's why I
Wait a
didn't say
minute.
it.
Hold on. You're making, you say well, the whole thing is an implied that we need someone else to make us pick better mates. That's what you're implying. Maybe your dad should pick instead of you because your picker is wrong. That's the implication. That's what I got. Here's my thing.
Ma'am.
Here's
Ma'am,
my thing.
This is not my talking points. I don't go by those rules. I'm old school. I go out and I pick my mate. I expect my daughter to do the exact same thing along with my son. So all this traditional, that's nothing but controls. That's freak control stuff to me. This is something that red pill in the manosphere did. I don't control my wife.
WOL, your mic is quite choppy. We're just barely catching your commentary.
I think you got to go out then come back in.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, but
can I
Yeah, wait a minute. Let me finish.
I'm gonna piggyback to what
let me
All right,
finish.
go ahead.
It was like it was implied that we were making the wrong choices for men. Okay, he didn't mean that, but whenever the Manosphere kept saying that, they were making it seem as though we were making the wrong choices. Now here, I posit that we're not making the wrong choices. I posit that it's too many Pookies and Ray Rays in the atmosphere. And we keep running into more Pookies and Ray Rays. There's less good men than there are Pookies and Ray Rays. That's what I'm positing. There's no way that every one of us females keep picking the wrong man unless there's an overabundance of wrong men in the atmosphere. That's what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting that we are picking correct. We just can't find the right guys because it's such a limited amount of good guys. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Hear me out. I understand what he was saying, so I'm gonna just base it on my talking points. So I believe even though you are dating and you're about to get serious with somebody, you do want to invite that person and have your friends and family talk to them and kind of vet them, because they will pick up on things that you won't pick up on because you are so in love that you look over some of the traits that you don't really see that they might see.
Absolutely.
And a lot of my friends told me they was like, I really wanted to tell her, but she'll eventually get it. And and things like that, I wish they would have told me, like, I don't think this person is for you. And so I do believe that you need to have somebody who loves you and who has your best interest in mind to actually kind of vet that person that you're talking to.
Yes.
Right, you do, and that's perfect. But that's not what he said. He said pick for you. He said pick. So when you pick, we all should have friends that vet our mates. We should always have group dates, that we should all do that so we can assess this person in a group setting. We can assess how this person reacts to other women in the atmosphere. We all should have a group session where we see how this person conducts themselves in public. We should all have friends who do that. Absolutely. I believe that's exactly what we need to have. I have a big family, so I automatically take anybody that I'm dating around any of my family, and my family don't have any hesitation. He's a bum, get rid of him. He's this, get rid of him. He's a keeper, get rid of him. My family definitely, even when he's sitting right in front of them, they will say exactly what they think. So I have family that vets or would vet dates. I mean, a lot of people don't want to bring, significant others around family and other people, but you have to in order to see what other people see. You have to. These days, you just have to, because they have a facade. A lot of people have a mask that they wear. You know what I'm saying? And you want to be able to see that person without that mask, or your friends should be able to see that person without that mask at some particular point before you get in a relationship with that person.
Good. I'm gonna play a little bit more of this video here. Here we go.
Not to grant either her or Corey's spousal support or alimony payments. This basically meant that she did not want to pay Corey alimony, and she did not want him to pay her alimony either. But listen, Corey said no way, and in his court filing, he ticked the box that said that Tia had to pay him alimony. And interestingly enough, he did not tick the box that said that he had to pay her alimony, which basically meant that he wanted her money. Yeah, it's giving gold digging, but hey, at least he asked for joint custody, so that wasn't going to be an issue. Oh, and remember that prenup that Tia was smart enough to get before they even got married? Well, Corey asked the court to review the prenup. According to the court documents, Corey and his lawyers asked for the determination of the validity of the prenuptial agreement dated April 14, 2008, and or that any provisions are unconscionable. Reports had it that
as a man, I see that as disgusting, because he should be able to go out there and just work and make his own money. Right now, to me, he's acting, this is very feminine. This is what femininity is in a man, where you're trying to get money from a woman when you're supposed to be good enough to get your own money.
Right.
That's just disgusting to me.
Right.
That's disgusting. It seems like to me that that's all he wanted. She made it work as best she could. He's a piece of crap, in my opinion.
Not only that, it's taking food out the kids' mouths also.
Right. I mean, as a man, you want to be able to make it on your own. What good are you if you're taking money from somebody else? Especially if it's a woman.
Right. Right.
That Corey and his lawyers were trying to claim that the prenup was signed to close the wedding, and that he might have been coerced in signing the prenup against his will. Now, at this point, people were feeling two types of ways. First was that Corey really didn't want to get divorced, and he was just trying to make the whole process long and difficult in hopes that he would be able to win Tia back and convince her to call off the divorce. I'm sure y'all remember when he got on Instagram Live saying this.
I love my beautiful family, love my kids, love my wife. I love all you guys. Just know that.
So I guess that's why people felt like he was trying to delay the whole thing. But on the other hand, most people felt like he was just after Tia's money and nothing more. After all, why would he ask for alimony and a prenup to be voided if he wasn't after money? Yeah, the math wasn't mathing. And y'all want to know the wild part about all this? It's that Tia kind of saw this coming from the onset, because she never had her money tied up with Corey while they were dating, and not even after they got married. They were together for 23 whole years and married for 14 years, and they did not have one joint investment together. Red flag, red flag. And I'm not just making that up, because according to court documents, the parties agreed that during their marriage they acquired no community assets together, and that as of the date of separation and the execution date, they owned no community assets. The assets confirmed herein to petitioner are her separate property, and the assets confirmed to respondent herein are his separate property. And I don't know about you guys, but I think Tia was protecting herself by not getting into any financial dealings with Corey, because she might have suspected somewhere down the line that he had ulterior motives towards her, and it was after her money. And the wild thing is that Corey actually succeeded in getting the prenup thrown out of court. But when I tell y'all that Tia did not take it easy on Corey, she didn't take it easy at all. small because she fought back at him and she fought hard. After the prenup was thrown out, she asked the courts to give her every single thing that belonged to her in the marriage. And I'm not even talking about just big assets like houses and cars. I'm talking about small, petty things like airline miles, rewards points, and all other credit card points on her credit cards in her name and on credit cards in the name of entities owned by her. So Tia was trying to keep everything that she could out of the marriage because she didn't want to give Corey anything. It's giving a little bit of petty, but her fans were here for it. Her actions kind of convinced people that Corey was after her money the entire time, because if she was petty enough to take reward points from Corey, then we know that she was big mad. And according to a source close to her, she kind of felt betrayed that Corey would try to come after her and her money like that. Even though she had her suspicions about him, she never thought that it would get so bad that he would shamelessly and openly try.
You find a man if you bus drivers, I'm telling you, bus drivers and their security guards.
Here, I have a question.
Hit me.
Why? I have a question. Why did they get a divorce? I mean, what prompted her to say she doesn't want this marriage anymore? What happened?
That is a good question. Let me look that up.
You know what I'm saying? What happened that made her say, I don't want to be married? This was the money thing after they separated for the divorce. But what actually prompted the divorce, her asking for a divorce? That's what I mean.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can't get late.
They were saying that Corey was living like an alternative lifestyle, that he was like dating like another guy while he was married. So he was but he could have told her that like in the beginning that he was bisexual, but they said that was the icing on the cake.
Ouch. Whoa. Okay. Then that would be a reason if she didn't know, but I would question whether she knew or she didn't know. I mean, for 23 years, he hid it from her. He hid that lifestyle.
She probably didn't even care about that part. She probably cared about whether he cheated on her with a woman. Like, I don't know you know how rich people are. But anyway, I just wanted to, I'm going to drop down, you guys.
Ouch.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, you can't get late. Talk to you later. Okay, so I wanted to look it up, but I don't see anything. Let me go back here.
Ouch. It's like, it came out of the blue. You know what I mean? To me, it came out of the blue. I had no idea. I thought they were going to make the mileage last,
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, she's full steam at a divorce because this money thing came after the separation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what prompted her to say, I want a divorce? Like out of the blue. Because we didn't see any chaos in their relationship. You know what I'm saying? We didn't see that.
Right. Let me kick out some shout outs real quick. In the house, Kittens and Caskets, A Lady, B, Scott Haywood, Miss RV, Hey, Future Me, A Lady, All Things Nata Jean, Miss RV, Quita Ward, Scott, Vonda, Bohemian Bliss, Jenny B, King Sigma, T, Big Cap. I'm going to keep it going. We are going to the next one. So that didn't go too well. So let's check out this one right here.
Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes, look at you.
The drama concerning a high-earning content creator by the name of Ashley Massengill Grayson is taking the internet by storm. Grayson is said to have earned $1 million in just 40 minutes. So who is she? Ashley is the owner of a company called AMPM Credit Repair, which is, of course, dedicated on helping you create your own credit repair company. So how does one go from making millions in minutes to being indicted on RICO charges for putting hits on not one, not two, but three different people? Ashley is expecting a baby soon, but I'm sure a gender reveal will not be the only thing revealing in her near future. We're going to get into that and so much more, but before we do, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding this story and so much more. Now let's get back into it. So there are plenty of 6- and 7-figure gurus out there claiming that they can help people achieve the same goals that they have reached. And when you see this lifestyle with the nice cars and the homes, and then they give you this long sob story on how they've gone from rags to riches, it's easy to lure people in. And that's exactly what happened with Ashley Grayson. Now, Grayson, who claims she went from facing eviction and having her car repossessed, quickly turned her life around and quit her job in March of 2017, stating that her credit repair company called AMPM Credit Repair was making her more in a month than she was making in 3 months at her post office job. Ashley did mention before that there was an incident that happened on her job back in 2012, but she did not tell you that that incident ended up making her pretty darn rich. Ashley was working and her hand got stuck in a conveyor belt, leaving 4 of her fingers at risk of amputation. Now, luckily, they were able to complete surgery and save all but 1 finger. So over 1.5 years, she had to go through therapy, learning how to tie her shoes again, learning how to get dressed again. Ashley again got a pretty hefty settlement. Now, Ashley claims she didn't get anything because the job was protected by workers' comp and they would only pay for her medical for the rest of her life. But I'm going to tell you, the more you learn about Miss Ashley Grayson, you'll know that she did not go out like that. Now, sis took some money and she ended up starting her own credit repair company. She called it AMPM Credit Repair. Ashley claims that within 18 months, the business turned into a $1 million enterprise. Now, from there, she decided to make her own course teaching people how to launch their own credit repair companies from scratch, charging them sometimes thousands of dollars to do so. Now, Ashley had been seen online saying this.
Remember me making that post saying that I would never teach people how to start their own credit repair companies. I'm not teaching y'all how to be my competition. It's not happening. Don't ask me again.
So my thing is this. If you're not going to train your competition, why are you charging your competition? Then Ashley starts a company teaching people how to make valuable courses online in whatever niche they decide. Now she's charging thousands of dollars for these courses as well. So she's making millions of dollars because a lot of people are buying into this because she's showing this lavish lifestyle. Again, the cars, the homes, everything else. What Ashley was missing was a man in her corner. So in the midst of showing everyone this lifestyle, Ashley decided to come into contact with this man by the name of Joshua Grayson, who was another credit guru she met online. She is said to have bought into this $30,000 course that he had and shoot her shot. Once the shot was taken, the two began dating. They got engaged, they got married, and they became what many thought were a young Black power couple. That's up until a private Facebook group was created that has now garnered over 40,000 members. And in this group, the members are stating their open opinions about Ashley's courses. But from this group came a TikToker named Cheryl Hodge that put Ashley and her business on full blast.
Legends say that these two right here are some elite scammers. Well, look, Miss Ashley right here. Let me tell y'all about her first. Ashley became known after she created a course that generated over $1 million in less than 40 minutes. She scams people out of $1,000, sometimes $2,000, to be able to fund this lifestyle that she's flaunting all over the internet. Now, allegedly, she has one that she offers for $1,000, and she has a bundle pack where she offers for $2,000. I mean, people all over the world are saving their coins, their pennies, their dimes.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward a little bit to the good stuff. Here we go.
To be able to attend.
One of the 3 people Ashley
ring and then said that Mr. Man who moved to Dallas with only 27 cents paid for it, amongst a whole bunch allowed to be showed on her platform. All the real reviews of her DCR course, allegedly how she stole somebody else's course, tweaked it, amped the price, and then promoted it as her own. Allegedly how she bought her own wedding ring and then said that Mr. Man who moved to Dallas with only 27 cents paid for it, amongst a whole bunch of other things that will come to the light.
Ashley didn't like what was being said, and she sued Sherelle for $1 million, stating that the claims defamed her character and her business, and she lost that lawsuit. After that, Sherelle became one of the 3 people Ashley and her husband put a hit out on. Now, to further explain this hit story, let's first speak about Olivia Johnson, who was a friend of Ashley. Ashley actually met Olivia years ago on Facebook, and Ashley gifted Olivia's mom a house.
4 months ago now, we introduced you to 7-year-old Legend Johnson. He was innocently shot in his grandma's South Memphis home by a drive-by shooter. Now, when we met him, he was right here at Le Bonheur Children's Hospital eating a popsicle. Now, his family has gotten a gift they'll never forget.
She just keeps saying, I feel like I'm dreaming. Like, this don't even feel real.
Olivia Johnson says she first met Ashley Grayson on Facebook, and they've grown closer since.
We met on Facebook like 5 years ago. She hit me up through the inbox. She asked me, could I do promo for her? And she could fix my credit. And I was like, yeah, cool.
Since then, Grayson has given back to single moms across Memphis, buying cars and now a home. It all started when Grayson asked Johnson for a list of possible moms who needed help.
Tell her about three women, my mama included. Gave them. She said, I want a lot of background info and stuff like this. So this when I brought up the shoes, because my mama's house was shot up like 5 times just her living there for these 2 years.
This home at an undisclosed location is fully paid off. All taxes and maintenance will be paid by Ashley and her husband for the next 2 years. Johnson says her mother was eager to move ASAP.
My mom been talking about that ever since. Like, she's so overwhelmed.
The home giveaway video has garnered thousands of shares and comments on social media, but Johnson says the love and attention goes beyond Facebook.
Ashley is just everything to us. Like, this is everything. And she knew it.
Yeah.
I'm indebted to her for the rest of my life.
Now, unbeknownst to Olivia, Ashley kept her name on Olivia's mother's home, and she would not take it off when Olivia asked her to. They started getting into it. Olivia let the cat out of the bag and let it be known that Ashley and her husband put a hit out on Sherelle.
And what I was talking to Bernie, I was talking to Bernie about the Sherelle stuff. I was like, we need to just leave her completely alone because there's too many eyes on her. There's too many eyes on her.
Josh said that earlier. Josh said she got too many eyes on her now.
And then the TikTok thing, because I was like, damn, it's just her right now. But if something happened to her, this gonna be in front of everybody.
And then it's gonna be like, all of a sudden she was making all of these and blah blah blah. Josh said that this morning. He said there's too many eyes on that girl right now. I said, well, it's not gonna die down. And he was like, well, it's just too many eyes on that girl right now. He was like, we don't need to be involved in that. And he was like,
Okay, let me stop it right there. Bottom line is this. She kind of technically dated down, and she kind of technically ended up in the same situation as Tia did. But the thing is that it sounded like she and her boyfriend and her husband were a little bit dirty. But you want to know something? I still got more for y'all. Here we go.
So it looks like Shirley Strawberry might want to write a strawberry letter on her own because her husband was out here embarrassing her under her very nose. Not only did he get busted for scamming people, but he also got exposed for having a whole side chick on Shirley. It gets even messier because
This is the trio to me. Let me go turn on my cam. Why not? 1, she dated down. 2, she dated a guy with a record. Not a big deal if he did the healing, right? And 3, he was living the Kevin Samuels life, where he had side chicks and shit.
Oh wow!
I mean,
wow.
what good is that? I don't know. You ladies tell me, what good is that for a woman if you have to deal with a side chick? Where's the upside? I mean, let me know.
There's no upside to that. I wouldn't even entertain him at all. And to be honest, it seems like if a person is not equally into you as you into them, if you're giving more attention and doing more for the other person, that is not an equally yoked relationship.
Right.
I don't know what that is. Like that's somebody who feels like they have to settle, they're not worth more, or they feel like if they have these things, he'll stay with me. I don't know what that is. That's just some fake stuff.
It's like I don't understand why we can't if you know you are on a certain level, don't you look at yourself or think of yourself or wake up in the morning and say, I can do better, so let me do better. I mean, it's like we're on level, and I keep going back to, it's like most black women are on level 7 and most black men are on level 3. And it's like we're climbing out of a hole. And why is it that you can't climb up there with us so we can get out of the hole together, instead of us always being in front, leading the charge or leading the way, and then you resent us because we are leading the way out of the hole. And then you have the nerve to say, well, I don't like that you're leading, so I'm going to reach back below your 3 and try to pull a 2 up and put her above us on level 7. I don't know whether you guys can follow it, but what I'm saying is, why is it that we have to stop and wait for our men when they should be running to catch up with us? Okay. And someone in the chat said, poor men are not a choice and rich men are not a choice. So what does that leave? Rich men are always a choice. I don't know one woman that would not deal with a rich man. See, here's the thing. Our ego is not going to get in the way if a man makes more money than us and wants to take care of us. Our ego will not be in any kind of hurt status. It will not be coming out in the form of us cheating, acting up, or anything else if a man makes more money than us. The problem is, men will do that. They will do the acting up. And then we can't trust you not to act up. So therefore, we can't trust ourselves to get a man who makes less than us. Because then we're trying to pull you up, prop your ego up. We're doing all of these things, and we shouldn't have to do all of these things. We shouldn't have to. Black men should look at us and say, well, most of the females are getting educated. Let us all try to get educated so we can get on the same level. So therefore we have more options, that we have more options out there. No, men have never been the prize. I love that. That is so hilarious to me when I heard that Kevin Samuel say men are the prize. I was like, on what planet? On what planet did that reverse itself?
Okay, let me play a little bit more of this right here.
It looks like he has been lying to Shirley and scamming her as well. And let me tell you, she is devastated. So does this mean that we're about to get some divorce news? Okay, so Shirley Strawberry has not been having a great time in the past couple of weeks because her husband has turned her entire life upside down. Shirley and her husband, Ernest Williams, have been married for a couple of years now. And for a while, we thought that things were going great in the marriage. But we recently found out that not only have things not been going on fine between them, but they have been downright toxic. And people have started to wonder if Shirley knew what she was getting herself into when she decided to marry him. And to be honest, I think their relationship was kind of weird from the very start because it didn't seem like she knew Ernest very well. When he proposed to her on air at her radio show with Steve Harvey,
Wait a minute.
she couldn't.
Was she putting the food on his plate?
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think their relationship was kind of weird from the very start because it
Wait a
didn't
minute.
What? What? That's our job, don't you know? To feed him when he's sitting right there. That's our job.
He just looks like a puppy. I don't know. Maybe I'm being picky. That's all right.
It didn't seem like she knew Ernest very well. When he proposed to her on air at her radio show with Steve Harvey, she couldn't even recognize his voice.
Let me ask you a question. The woman that you about to ask me this question about, do you love her?
Yes, sir.
Shirley.
Yes.
This your man right here.
What? It's a mess, though.
Wait a minute. Uh-oh.
And there were conversations about how she was rushing into marriage just for the sake of getting married. And it turns out that there was a lot that she should have known about Ernest because he had led a very colorful life before he got married to Shirley. Like, he was really out there wilding and having a lot of encounters with the authorities. He has a very long list of charges that date back to the age.
Holy crap.
She didn't see that. My thing is, she was a whole lick out here, and he looked younger than her. I don't know. And to be honest, he didn't even. When somebody proposed to you, they were supposed to be a magical moment. Like you just doing it on the radio. You did that so you didn't have to do much. That's why you did that. It was easy. It seemed cheesy. He didn't put more thought and effort into, acquiring her. And she is so love struck, probably didn't have a man in such a long time and dealing with her own issues that she took the bait.
Yeah, this hurts right here. I mean, she has to have known this.
No,
I
a
mean,
lot of people, they don't do
it is
background checks.
2020. Wow, that's just like recent. Look at it. Felony, 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 felony. Man,
It's embarrassing, right?
this is all bad.
And she's a top radio host. It's so sad. Top radio host. Number
Oh,
one, giving out the gossip. Give it out.
see,
But she don't have the gossip in herself.
the Manosphere had the nerve, and the Manosphere had the nerve to get mad at Ebony. I mean, come on. I mean, look at this stuff. So they expect this is what they want. They want they want the women to take the L every time. Try to reform these guys. That's what's going down, I guess. I mean, this is, I guess, where they got that idea. This is why they felt empowered. They got mad at Ebony because Ebony wasn't going down this road here. She wasn't going to go down this road. Look at all this stuff here. Look at all of it.
Listen,
That's all bad.
Wow.
desperation meets despair.
Man,
That's terrible. I mean, that's terrible. I can understand maybe one, depending on what it is, but
Right.
one or two. But you got like 10. I can't really see, but I think it's like 10 or 11.
Yeah, it's up there. I mean,
What?
look, things happen in life, okay? I can understand that, okay? But this guy they're pretty recent too. They're pretty recent. These are like 2020, 27, 2020, 27, 2020, 21, 2020. This is like, he a whole criminal. It's not like he had a sordid past or anything. This stuff is recent. Operation Credit Repair Services, stealing, theft and deception, theft by taking. Man, I mean, come on. I mean, fellas in the red pill, I mean, how far down does a Black woman have to date down? Look, I don't expect if a woman comes into my life and she has $10 million, I'm not going to get mad if she's going to say, hey, look, you got to step up your game at least halfway or something. And if I can't, she'll be gone. I mean, look, I mean, the thing is this, especially in this situation here, she shouldn't have been thinking about dude. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work. There's a reason why some people don't have money.
Which means that he has been playing around with the law for decades. Like, that's not bad enough. He also has a couple of felonies from the early 2000s, which tells us that he never really gave up his life of crime. It's unclear
Let me stop
exactly
this for
how
a minute. Okay, this is one thing I hate is when people pass out myths. Also, think about it. This DJ is a Black man that will not teach the youth how to get on, but will constantly show how effed up Black men are. Dude, Cap. 20 years, bro, trying to get the youth going. 20 years. More than you probably have put in. The nerve of you putting this in here, that's all bad, bro. That's all bad. It's one thing if you guys want to do it on some other platform, but to come in here and say that, which is a straight up lie, that's what's fucked up.
No, what's really terrible is that they don't understand that they need to clean up their backyard before they come over and try to clean up the female's backyard. They
Right.
need to clean up their backyard first. It's not a matter of bashing. It's a matter of showing a light on what's going on. And then it's like you guys, like the Manosphere is always trying to shame us Black women, always trying to shame us. Well, okay, let's try that tactic with you men. Let's try to shame you guys into getting more education. Shame you guys instead of being password bros. Shame you guys into doing the right thing by your baby mamas. Why don't we try to shame you guys like you guys try to shame us all the time? Okay.
Yeah, that was
That's
some. I
over
mean,
here, right?
yeah. See, I mean, I don't mind a debate or something, but if you're gonna say some crap like that, not knowing what I've done in my past, and your boys be telling me how old I am, they don't even know. You weren't even born when I started working with kids. So for you guys to say that, and maybe you should just I don't mind having a debate and having a difference of opinion, but when that opinion gets toxic, that's pretty messed up.
People are getting mad when I don't understand it when content creators turn around and create and do a flip side of the same content that they're watching, they get mad. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Like you sit there and you play the videos just like Kevin Samuels do. You know, the money twerk video. People get mad because of that. They wasn't getting mad when Kevin Samuels was doing that and he was making like over $1,000 a night in his shows. Like why is it a
Yeah.
big deal now?
Yeah, that's a good point. When Kevin, so tell me how Kevin Samuels helped young men other than telling them that women were bad. I'll wait, Big Cap. Other than telling you that women were bad or anything about women, what, a couple videos on maybe, taking a shower or putting your finger up your butt? What else? Or
Right.
asking a guy how big his thing was? What else? Or berating men who had questions about some of his statements? What else? That's
Right.
that's sad. That's sad that you went that low, man. I thought you were cool. Here we go.
He met Steve Harvey, but they developed a friendship and Steve decided to play matchmaker between him and Shirley. Now, even if Shirley didn't know what type of person Ernest really was, she at least knew about his past arrests and criminal charges. But she had faith in him and she genuinely believed that he was going to turn over and become a changed man. And for a long time, it did seem like Ernest was a changed man. He had no issues with the law and even opened up a huge barbershop in Atlanta. It wasn't your typical neighborhood barbershop because it only catered to the wealthy and big name celebs in Atlanta. He also set up a company that
Big Cap, telling and teaching are two different things. Let me keep going.
provided unarmed security personnel for clients. So yeah, he appeared to have cleaned up his act and became a model member of society. He was pulling in a lot of money, but nobody suspected anything because his businesses were successful and there was nothing to suspect. And Shirley and Ernest were really living the life. But all that changed last year when Ernest was arrested on fraud charges and was exposed for running $1 million scam scheme along with a woman named Erica King. According to news sources, 57-year-old Ernest Williams and 46-year-old Erica King convinced people to pay them for their business expertise. They would align themselves with their victims with promises to be able to grow their brands, their missions, their life goals, their social media followings. The crazy part about him getting exposed is that he would have gotten away with it if he hadn't gotten so careless, because the only reason he got caught for his scam was that he was getting investigated for rental fraud, which caused the police to start looking into him. He and Erica rented a house right next door to the house he lived with Shirley, but for some reason, they stopped paying the rent for 4 months. As expected, the landlord got upset and reported them to the authorities for rental fraud. And if you're wondering why on earth...
Okay, KNGR says this. They're getting really feisty up here in the chat. All things Nadine, no accountability from the XX side. I guess you haven't seen that Black women pay the ultimate accountability. You saw Tia Mowry. She was accountable for a husband who's trying to steal all her money. Let me leave it on here so we can clear this up real quick. Most women pay with their lives. Is that accountable enough for you when they make the wrong decision? One woman, I can believe it or not, you guys think the videos I play are bad. I got a whole stack of videos of where women that were pregnant, were in a relationship, and their bad decision got them deleted. And it's funny because it's the same guys you want these women to give a chance to. So you need to make up your mind. Do you want women to be picky, super picky, and not pick you? Or do you want them to choose right? Or do you want them to choose wrong and pick you? Because that's basically what it's coming down to. Because a part of this, that's where this is all coming from. You guys can't make up your mind. You want it one way or you want it the other way, depending on whether they're going to choose you or not. If you can be a bad decision, if they choose you, it's a good decision. If they don't choose you, it's a bad decision.
Well, the problem is they are, none of them think they Pookie and Ray Rays.
Yeah,
and darn near all of them are Pookie and Ray Ray. That's the whole thing. None of them think they Pookie and Ray Rays. They all think they good men. That's the whole thing.
Right.
That's our problem. They don't understand that they Pookie and Ray Rays too.
Yeah.
And it's a sad fact, but it is what it is.
Yeah, they come from this group that says a lot of disparaging things about women. They also don't tell the truth that well, but that's okay. That's cool. I would still want their opinion. It's cool. Let me keep going here.
Ernest would need to rent a house next door to where he and Shirley lived. Well, it's because he was sneaking around with Erica. There are reports that Erica is his side piece and he was hiding her in plain sight. Yeah, it's the audacity of this man to be both a scammer and a cheat. Pick a struggle. Anywho, once the police started investigating Ernest and Erica for rental fraud, they took a look into their finances and realized that a lot of things didn't add up. They did some more digging, and that's when they discovered that they had scammed more than 12 people of about $1 million.
Police say their investigation first started at this home on Pine Grove Road months ago. Investigators say after Williams and King hadn't paid rent for a while, detectives started looking into their financial transactions, and it led them to their extensive scheme.
Now, it's unclear whether or not Shirley knew about his activities, but she did something that people find to be quite fishy. A couple of weeks before Ernest got busted, she randomly decided to take his name off the deed to the house that she owned in California. So if Ernest ever got arrested and had his assets seized, her house would be safe. Now, it's unclear if she did this because she knew he was about to get busted or if she just didn't trust Ernest, but the move turned out to be a smart one. Ernest got booked on 5 counts of conspiracy to commit a felony. He had 2 of the charges dismissed and his bond was set for...
Well said, Rika Reed Gaming. Those men don't show their true selves until they get what they want. That's exactly that.
Oh.
So, ladies, I guess the point is that it's funny because Big Cap has already in this same live argued the point of a woman dating down, and then now is arguing the point of, well, she should have chose better.
We can't choose any better because there is no good choices. If there were better choices, we would be choosing better. I know how to stay out of the face of a Pookie and Ray Ray who carry a gun. I know how to stay out of the face of a Pookie and Ray Ray that sleep around. You act like we don't know how to stay out of these men's faces. It's just too many of y'all like to hide your guns and like to hide your baby mamas. That's why we can't. We run into too many of y'all.
All right, let me kick some shout outs. Trizzle's in the house. Trizzle, thank you for coming. Miss Not For Everyone 101 is in the house. Scott's still in the house. All Things Natty Jean's in the house. Miss RV's in the house. Jenny B's in the house. Rika Reed Gaming's in the house. Vonda's in the house. Puka Fella Records is in the house. B's in the house. Tevin's in the house. You know, I do want to have 2 points of view. All I ask is to kick as close to what you think are facts that are true. If you don't know about my life, don't talk about my life. If you know my experience, then state what you think you know. I don't mind that. But when you start talking lies, I can't have that. But I want to make it clear, I do want 2 points of view, but they got to be at least honest points of view. You're not trying to deceive people by saying stuff that's not true. Let's keep it going.
$15,000. But that's not all, because he was also booked on 3 additional charges of theft by taking operation of credit repair services and theft by deception. But his scamming activities went beyond scamming people into paying for his services alone, because he would also go to businesses, make purchases, and not pay. Now, I really want to shout my sis out, the Chronicle Speaks, because she really be getting to the bottom of this very stuff. Now, according to court documents, he was charged deception and with intent to avoid payment, knowingly obtained car repair services of a value of more than $1,500, but less than $5,000, which were available only for compensation for which the accused failed to pay. Yeah, this man was out here scamming without a conscience. But it gets even worse, because once the police started looking into him, they found a lot of bad things that he was involved in. And his long list of crimes includes being in possession of explicit material featuring children, if you know what I mean. It's just a lot to unpack and deal with, and according to sources, Shirley is just as shocked about this as we all are. Insiders claim that she had no idea about her husband's illegal activities and was blindsided when he got exposed. A source close to her claimed that Ernest led her to believe that he had left his life of crime behind him and that his businesses were 100% legal. The source also revealed that Ernest
is just people are who they are, men are who they are. It's just, that's the way it is. It's sad that, you know, he didn't, after being given a second chance, he didn't take positive advantage of it. And this is what this is. And then these guys come out and say, you should have chose better. Oh, well, if there's no good men and there's no bad men, then what men are there to choose? Or if there's no rich man and there's no poor man, who do you choose? So then she takes a chance. A black woman takes a chance and chooses some guy like this, right? And then you get mad. Oh, she should have chose better.
Right. See, the thing is, the money just made the degeneracy come out even worse.
Yes.
On a bigger scale. He was always doing underhanded things. The money just made it possible for him to conceive and conceptualize even more degeneracy. Okay,
Right.
you don't stop being a Pookie and a Ray Ray because you get money. You just get more arrogant with that money. That's it. You just get more arrogant where you won't get choked, where you won't get caught. And I believe she knew. I believe Miss Strawberry knew what her husband was. She had to know. Why would you take your name off the mortgage? Why would you take his name off the mortgage if you didn't know something was amiss with your husband? You had to.
Exactly.
Right.
Scott Haywood brought up a good point. Background check is very important. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's hard for me to say that at least, was it Shirley's co-host? I can't believe I forgot his damn name.
Steve Harvey?
Steve Harvey. I can't believe Steve Harvey didn't run him up.
Right.
Yeah,
why didn't he run a background check on it? You let your girl run in there and deal with a scammer. You let your girl get caught up like that, and you didn't know the background of him. You didn't do no kind of background check, and you got all that money, and you her friend for as long as you been. You didn't do none of that, but you referred him.
Right.
You guys know why, right? Because Steve Harvey is a stickler for like romance and saying anything good to a woman or any good deed. He sits there and he prays that and he overlooks everything else.
That's definitely not a good thing. Definitely not. I believe in falling in love with somebody. I believe you can do that. But fall in love with the person for who they are, not who you think they are. And know all the facts before you jump into anything. If I know all the facts, then I take all the consequences and burdens that come along with those facts. I don't want to be blindsided if my Pookie and Ray Ray is a thief. I don't want to be blindsided if my Pookie and Ray Ray is a tramp. I don't want to be blindsided. Tell me all of this stuff up front, and then I have the Did I have the choice to choose whether I want to deal with this Pookie and Ray Ray? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, but most people don't want to be upfront and honest about these kind of things. So you run into being blindsided. But it's no excuse for a rich person to be dealing with a Pookie and a Ray Ray, and you don't know a Pookie and Ray Ray. This is Miss Strawberry's fault. She had enough money to do a background check on that man. I don't care how much D he was slinging, and I don't care what he was giving her. She should have did a background check.
Well, Hey Future Me said she knew. She'll let you know.
She knew.
Really
She had to know.
So let me go back to where I was. Scott's comment. Scott says, Tevin, a man's character should be one of the top things a woman looks for. Absolutely. The problem is that it seems like the men with higher character seem to have the ones that have the better jobs as well.
And here's the thing.
The problem is that at least, something, Scott, Kevin Samuels would be mad at you because he wasn't into the character thing.
Right.
He was into the money, high value thing.
But here's the thing. Men are always saying to us, looks come first when it comes to them looking at a woman.
Yeah, I mean, didn't they have a number rating system for women? So I guess a man shouldn't look for character in a woman, but a woman should look for character in a man, because I never once heard Kevin say something like, okay, look for women with character from 1 to 10.
Never.
Looks. It was always looks, right?
That's why Shara Sevens. That's why her channel gets so many views, because what the men say, I just want her to be nice and look attractive. I just want a nice woman. I want her to look attractive. She gotta have a big butt.
Yeah,
that's what I care about.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, and it's funny because most men that with character, they would be called simps.
Right.
They would be called simps.
Right.
Yeah, it's so easy to manipulate men these days. That's why women go get their bodies done, because that's what y'all care about.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
And then shame us because we get our bodies done. What's going on with this?
What do you want? Like, what do you want? Like, I don't understand. Like, you said you want looks. We giving you the mirage. It's still not good enough.
We get the hair, we get the nails, we get the wigs, we get the BBLs, we get all of that, and then you turn around and tell us you don't want that. It's like I'm confused, but it's always coming down to what we look like. We can't win. We can't win. We just can't win. We can't.
All right, let me keep it going.
Introduced Erica to Shirley as a friend and potential business partner, and she believed him, even though she wasn't exactly sure what type of business they were planning to get into. This is also embarrassing for Shirley, and people left comments saying, this Shirley Strawberry news, you can always count on a doggone butt busted and disgusted man to embarrass you. That's it. If I ever get married, it certainly won't be without doing a background check first. Shirley Strawberry should have been taking a lot of advice she was giving out. And this Shirley Strawberry and Ernest Williams stuff is so messy. She became her own strawberry letter. But do you guys believe that Shirley really didn't know about Ernest scamming? Or do you think that she is trying to save face and avoid getting in trouble? Let me know what your thoughts are. And if you think this drama is nasty, well, just wait till you see the next video.
You know damn well that guy, as far as looks, was way out of her league. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know what she was thinking. Look, we're holding her accountable. We're holding her accountable, right?
Yeah, he looks way younger than her.
He looks younger than her. He looks younger. I kind of thought that too. Maybe he was like 5 or 10 years younger than she was, but look, she wanted a husband. He had to have black skin. He had to be. She took what wanted to put a ring on her finger. That's what she took. And that's our fault for being desperate for marriage. As you know, as black women, we would like to have that traditional thing. We would like to be married. We'd like to have 2.5 kids. We love all of that. and have a man who makes more money or equal to our money, we would love to have all of that. Unfortunately, that's not how our world is, which means we'd have to go outside of our options. We would have to exercise different options in order to get the things that we want. Otherwise, we're going to have to settle for what is there, or we don't settle for anything, which is what a lot of women are doing. They're not settling for anything. Okay.
Okay. So Tam is going to continue this conversation over on her chat because so let me give you the link to her channel.
Whose channel did you say, DJ?
Tam 1.0. I'm leaving the link in the chat, everybody.
Oh, Tam. Oh, okay.
So I'm going to kick some shout outs and last words. What do you guys think about what we went over today?
You didn't get a chance to play the other video. I wanted to watch the full video, but it's okay. Of the
which
other
one?
The tax, not the tax lady, the credit repair, the one who started the business and she made $1 million.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll swing that over to Tam just so as a special request. But other than that, what do you guys have any summary you would like to go through?
I guess don't put marriage on a pedestal. I mean, if you find somebody, that's great. If you don't, I guess just love yourself and think about all the things that you do have, especially, the Shirley from the strawberry letter, she had a good life. She had a job where people looked up to her. She read those letters. She could go out and, go on vacation. She has her own self-assessed worth and her own peace. And I think that is worth more than misery.
Right.
True. Sometimes
my takeaway is don't give up on love. It's somewhere out there. You just may have to be creative to find it. I found it and I had it for 30 years. It's possible. And he was a Pookie and Ray Ray, but it's possible. All things are possible. It is. So don't give up on that because it can happen. You just have to be very creative with it. Don't settle for somebody who makes way significantly less than you do. Otherwise, you may run into issues and concerns that should not happen to a marriage or relationship because of money. Money is the number one reason why marriages and relationships fail. There's no point in standing behind the 8 ball from day one with you making more money and him making way less money than you have to. That's all I have to say.
Excellent. Mine is for people to not throw stones from glass houses. Obviously, if you support other toxic behavior, but you want to criticize someone else's information, you might want to, what should we say, balance the two. Like, okay, this person's over here or saying this, they're disrespectful to Black women, they cuss out Black women, they do nearly morally bad stuff, but we support that person. But we're going to go over to this guy's channel and misinformed people about that person's experience with young men. Working with young men in the past, experience. If you don't know a person's past, you don't know a person's past. So just to bring that back, when Big Cap said that, it kind of did bother me because I trusted him to the point where at least maybe he, especially with all the information that his friends have stolen, they should know that I have experience working with men for at least the last 20 years. So the very least he could have done is just at least was honest, criticized me about something, but it was honest about that certain aspect.
Right.
If you know what I mean. That's kind of weird. It's like, if you want to debate, let's make it an honest debate. That's the cool thing. You guys, the same people, these are the same guys who complained about my channel being an echo chamber. But then when they echo, when they echo, it's of misinformation instead of at least something to be debated about. And it's different if they would have said, so DJ Torch, what is your experience with Black men? And then I could have broke it down to them. But to insinuate without even knowing or pretending not to know that I haven't worked with young men at all is disgusting. That's sad. So I'm all for saying the right information on both sides, men and women. But